Instance of thoughts and cruise talks, I guess. Today is October 27th. Uh, Getting closer to Halloween. I know people are gonna have their costumes and stuff. Let me know what your costumes is gonna be. Um, it was just a thought process. A couple of things that I was thinking about, right? So there's a couple of things I was realizing that I wanted to keep on touching on because I was talking about it previous time about what this administration and the Republicans and the GOP are trying to do to basically kind of seize control of the government in a stronger way. So basically, the what people don't understand is like when Donald Trump said and he told that group of people, it was like, hey, you won't have to vote again. The instance of that and the reasoning for that is is simple, but at the same time is not as simple. So basically, them gerrymandering is part of them not wanting you to vote again. It's you basically voting again, but the fact that your vote is not going to make much of a difference is basically the easiest way of saying. So the Republicans and GOP want to make it that it's difficult for you to have the ability to change things because look at all the changes that are ongoing right now. The political climate right now, it's Republicans against Democrats, how it always is. But you have the Republicans trying to make it seem like you are losing out on, you're going to lose out on benefits, you're going to lose out on different things because of the fact that supposedly the Democrats don't want to do these things. But in actuality, it's two sides of a coin basically because you do have the Republicans which are not doing anything in an emphasis basis to do any work because you have Republican Mike Johnson, which is the Speaker of the House, which has canceled voting for what, 4 weeks now. um he's still getting paid, government is still going, people are still working, but Mike Johnson feels as you shouldn't have to show up to work and you shouldn't be doing any other work because the thing is it doesn't concern anything of the sort. That Arizona representative has still not been certified, has still not been made into the politician that she was elected to be. And that's all on Mike Johnson. That's nothing to do with the shutdown because there's nothing stopping them from certifying her win. But these people have the time that they're not working to do anything to do press conferences on a daily basis. So every single day that y'all been shut down, Republicans have had the time to go and make press conferences. So at this time when they could be working, Republicans are making a press conference just to say, hey, we're blaming the Democrats because of this. We're blaming the Democrats because of that. It was just like you have 40 million people that are about to lose or not have any SNAP benefits for the month of November. And most people don't understand the demographic of that. Most people don't understand that a lot of people that are on SNAP benefits also work. These people are not just freeloaders as Republicans like to place them as or like to label them as. Um the same thing with homeless people. Not everybody, just because you see somebody on the street, yes, that's homeless, but that doesn't mean that working people aren't homeless. Many people are deemed homeless because a lot of people work out of their cars. A lot of people don't have a roof over their head. They have a car to sleep in or live out of. And the process goes for all these people because all these people are paying bills and they can't afford to pay enough bills because they don't get paid enough. Now, the justification for some Republicans will be like, oh, well, some people don't know how to manage money, which is true. But then at the same time, that's not the cause for everybody to be broke. That's not the cause for everybody to be on SNAP benefits. That's not the cause for people to not be able to afford health care. The system has made it that way. And now the biggest thing that the GOP and the Republicans and MAGA want to say is that, oh, the Affordable Care Act made it made health insurance more expensive. And I'm just trying to figure out where did that happen? How did that happen? How can MAGA or anybody explain that the Affordable Care Act made insurance more expensive? That's the part I don't understand. Because the thing is Republicans and MAGA will try to put all the blame on everything but the actual reason for prices going up, or for rates going up, or insurance premiums going up. It was like they always failed to do that. Because the thing is the Affordable Care Act, what it did was it allowed people to get on health coverage. It made it so that everybody has the ability to do that. Then you have the fact that a lot of people don't understand that with the Affordable Care Act, there was the ability for you not to be denied if you had a pre-existing condition. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand and a lot of people don't put in there. If you have a medical record, or your family has a history of a anything certain history of anything, you basically have a pre-existing condition, or you are going to be that. That's why your premiums go up, because of the fact that they know, oh shit, you already have this, so we know we're going to end up paying out for the issue you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you pay a higher premium because we know you're already going to get this thing. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people like to blame it that, oh, the Affordable Care Act was the worst thing. And it's just like, it's always MAGA and Republicans that say this shit because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They never understand the fact that everybody was able to get insurance now. And some people had it subsidized. So not everybody was paying full price for it. So instead of you paying that full prescription pay for a prescription, that was partly covered by the Affordable Care Act. But Republicans won't notice that because they just thought, oh, medicine is cheap. Because that's what MAGA always thinks, because MAGA doesn't know how to think. They always think, oh, this was just cheap. Oh, my medication, I only got to pay $5 for the medication. And it was just like, no, that's because you have the Affordable Care Act, and that helped subsidize those prices. Because it covered basically pricing of medical and pharmaceutical to basically cover, like, oh, you're going through this, all right, here's something to cover that, to help you from the federal government. But Republicans and MAGA say they don't want more government in there. But when it comes to helping the American citizens, they don't want more government. But when it comes to taking away and limiting any kind of responsibility or anything to actually benefit the people of the United States, Republicans don't do anything for that. They always vote against it. And it's been proven time and time again. But you can't tell these people, you can't explain to these people these things, because the thing is they don't understand that, and they never pay attention to it, because they never pay attention to the fact that their Republican representation never votes in favor of anything that would help them in the long run. If it comes to helping another country, they vote for it quick. Look at Argentina. Look at how quick Argentina got $40 billion. Yet our farmers are hurting. You haven't heard of any bill being proposed by any Republican, because they're in charge and they would be the ones that would get shit done, right? Because Republicans are the ones that get shit done. They were just like, but where's the subsidies for the farmers? Where's the bailout for the farmers? Where's any bill introduced to help the United States farmers? You notice how no Republican has been able to do that, right? Do you notice how no Republican, what's up, sons? No Republican has put any bill to do that. Besides swearing her in, that's a whole nother thing. The other thing also is, you notice how now Republicans are trying to say that because of the Democratic Senate, military person wouldn't be paid, right? Or a bill to have them get paid was denied because the Senate decided to vote it again. But you notice how they didn't mention the fact that during the first week of the shutdown, a Democrat, what's up, Eugene? A Democrat decided to put a standalone bill that would make sure that military service members got paid. And what did the Republicans do? The Republicans said no to that. So it wasn't that the Democrats shut it down, it was the Republicans who shut it down first. And now the Republicans are trying to use it as a ruse or as some bullshit to basically say, oh, well, the Democratic Senate decided to stop it because of the fact that they don't want to open the government. No, there was already a bill that was introduced by a Democrat on the first week of this, basically trying to make sure military service members got paid. But Republicans wouldn't pay attention to that because all they hear is Mike Johnson, which doesn't do his fucking job, having a press conference every single fucking day. How you don't got time to work or negotiate, but you got time to be making bullshit assumptions and bullshit criteria in the fucking conference that you hold every day now instead of being at work. The funny thing is everybody wants to use see, and that's the fallacy of the Republican Party and the MAGA culture. Y'all believe everything that MAGA says. Everything a Republican tells you, you believe. Everything that MAGA says, you believe. But if a Democrat says it, or a liberal says it, or anybody that doesn't have, well, that does have brain cells, y'all don't want to listen to them. Y'all want to say, oh no, that's not it. It was just like exactly what part of making 40 million Americans lose and not get SNAP benefits is an American thing to do. Nobody watches CNN. Nobody watches Fox News. That's just stupidity. Exactly. Because the thing is you got to be kind of stupid to not realize that Republicans are in charge, right? Republicans are in charge. The last time we had a shutdown like this, Republicans were in charge. The one before that, Republicans were in charge again. So why is it that every single time for the past who knows how many years, it's always been Republicans stopping government? You want to talk about the CR, right? See, that's the funny that's how I know most of y'all MAGA are so fucking stupid. Cause the thing is you remember that big beautiful bill? You remember that bill that gave them permanent tax cuts and stuff like that? They didn't get 60 votes. So how were they able to pass that? How were they able to pass that? That was a bill. That was another bill proposed. How was that able to pass, but they didn't get 60 votes? That's how I know Republicans are stupid and just follow whatever they said. So they were able to change the fucking voting so that they didn't have the super majority and they just needed a regular 53 votes to pass the big beautiful bill because they didn't have 60 votes. But somehow that bill got put across. But MAGA's so stupid because they didn't realize that happened a couple of weeks ago before the shutdown. They were able to pass something that the Democrats did not sign off on. The Democrats had no saying in. So how is it that you were able to pass a bill that the Republicans fully made, didn't allow any of the Democrats to say anything about, and then they got it passed? But you're so dumb that you're stuck on the fact that, oh, they need 60 votes. Yeah, because that's what they tell you. They didn't have 60 votes for the big, beautiful bill. Where was the 60 votes? 60 votes where? 40 million. You didn't have 60 then. Exactly. So if we didn't have 60 then, that means that they can open up the government because they don't need the 60. But that's the stupidity of your fucking ignorance. That's how dumb you are. You just know that they didn't need 60 votes then, so they don't need 60 votes to open up the fucking government again. So now you know how dumb you sound defending Republicans at the fact that you say that. So you're saying that Republicans would rather, because they have the ability to do you. The crazy thing is that Republicans have the ability to open up the government if they choose to, but they rather not. Because they don't want those subsidies to continue. Because they want healthcare to go up in price. Because the thing is if you're actually helping the American people, why would you want their prices to go up? After all the tariffs that we're dealing with, after everything else we're dealing with, where prices are going up, because nothing has gone down. And now you want to make shit even more expensive? What filibuster is going when nobody is fucking filibustering? In order to filibuster, you have to actually have people arguing and on the fucking Senate floor to filibust, and nobody's doing that. Maybe you should learn that shit. Maybe you should learn how the fucking shit works. Because a filibuster would mean that they would be continuing to talk because they are planning to stop it. But if the House of Reps isn't even in session, how the fuck can you even do that? How you doing a filibuster if there's no fucking house working right now? Please explain. Please explain to me, cause the ignorance and the stupidity that you keep on coming up with is just excuses to the last answer you couldn't answer. And then you continue with another excuse to come up with another excuse. And then another excuse. And then it's just like, oh no, first it was this. First they couldn't do this. But they have this option, but they can't do that. But then they have this option, but they still can't do that. Like, man, shut the fuck up already, man. Y'all just so full of it. Y'all just so full of it, man. Y'all need to stop swallowing all these nuts, man. Stop swallowing all these nuts that Mike Johnson gives you. He already doing that enough. You, on the other hand, should be able to think for yourself, but you can't because you all here nut swallowing. That's basically it. Because you can't think of any actual thing that benefits. So we're gonna continue. So this is the Republicans' thought process, right? We just want a clean continuation bill so that we can do this again. That's your solution. That's your solution. We came up with a clear-cut bill that's just gonna extend the shit, but we're not gonna do actually anything. That's your solution? That's you working government, right? That's the Republican. We're gonna fix shit by doing absolutely fucking nothing. No, you ain't got nothing to say. Nothing. It got awfully quiet. Awfully quiet when these dumbasses don't understand. It was just like you are doing a continuation. They want to continue it to keep the appropriations going and the funding going. And then what? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are you going to do? Because you're still letting the subsidies run out. Because you're not trying to put the subsidies in there. So you want healthcare insurance to go up. So you're not going to cover this. Because the thing is if you are so concerned with the American fucking people, which most of the people that are on these SNAP benefits are the fucking Republican-led states, you would try to make sure that your people that voted for you would be taken care of. You want to take care of people, you would make sure that you would use the nuclear option, make sure that the government is running, and make sure that American people are getting their fucking benefits. But what are you doing? No, you want to blame it on the Democrats when you have the ability to, because you have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So don't tell me it's on the Democrats, because the Democrats have no say. The Democrats have no say in this whole thing. Everybody just says the 60 votes. That's how I know you're stupid. Because they have the nuclear option, because they have all the fucking, they have all of government. How you have all of government but somehow don't know what the fuck you doing? Come on, man. Y'all just keep swallowing these nuts that they feed you, man. You know what's funny? This let's look at this one. Let's look at this one right here. You see this? You see this right here? Let's see. What kind of let's point this out. Let's point this one out, right? At what point did Joe Biden have the presidency, the House, and the Senate? At what point did Joe Biden have the House, the Senate, and the presidency? Please, I want to know. Because the thing is I want to say Biden could have done this, but Biden didn't have all three branches. Biden didn't have the Supreme Court. Biden didn't have the House and the Senate. So when was he going to pass this? No. If you had Harris as a tiebreaker, that means you didn't have control of it. See, that's how I know ignorance goes rampant in your stupidity. My man said it was a tiebreaker. Look at what you just said. A tiebreaker would mean that there was no majority, where the Republicans here have a majority in everything. No, that is not the majority. You have a majority in every single one. You have it in the House, you have it in the Senate, and you have the presidency. Joe Biden didn't have that. Otherwise, he would have passed almost everything. And he got it passed because Harris was the tiebreaker. That's it. Not because he had a majority. So literally, if he would have had the majority, he would have been able to push all his agenda with no hesitation. Here you have Republicans that have the ability to push all their agenda, which they were able to push with the big beautiful bill. When it came to fucking making sure that billionaires got a permanent tax cut, you had no problem using the nuclear option. But now, when it comes to taking care of the American citizen, the hardworking ones, the ones that are on benefits, all of a sudden, damn, now we don't know what to do. Now we don't know how government works. Now all of a sudden I'm a fucking bootlicker. Now all of a sudden I gotta make sure that the fucking Republican people that sponsored me and gave me all the money for my campaign are taken care of, but not the people that actually voted you in. Oh yeah, oh yeah, remember that. The big beautiful bill, they worked late night on Saturday to make sure that this bill got put through. But here you are just canceling the House in its entirety. So the House is doing no work. They're still getting paid, but they're doing no work. And that's not on the Republicans. So Republicans have Mike Johnson has shut down the House how many weeks now? And please tell me how that's on the Democrats. Because the thing is y'all want to talk about shutting down the government funding, the continuation, right? You mean to tell me there's no other bills that have to happen or could be being voted on right now? See, now I know. See, this is what I love too. Because the thing is right now you can tune in to watching fucking Mike Johnson and a couple of other Republicans having a fucking press conference right now while they shut down the House. But they're working every day. They're working every day, but you just shut down the whole House for what, 3 weeks straight now? You shut it down so there's no votes going on in the House because Mike Johnson stopped it. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. That's crazy. So now you no, look, now he changes his tune. Now he wants to change it up. Now he wants to change it. I thought you said y'all were hard working. I thought they were working the whole time while Dems was on social media. But here you are doing all these press conferences trying to blame Democrats for not doing a job, and you're the Republican Party in charge shutting down the House of Representatives right now. See how dumb you sound? See how easy it is to pinpoint your stupidity just from back to back sentences. But Republicans are the ones that are working, right? Republicans are the ones that are working, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy the ignorance of Republicans. It was just like the Democrats didn't say we're not going to vote on anything. Bro, y'all the same ones that didn't know what fucking tariffs were? And y'all supposed to tell me that Congress needs 60 votes, but you don't know that they have the nuclear option. So I know you dumb. If the nuclear option means that 40 million people don't lose healthcare benefits, are we really asking that question? You're right, my bad, SC. It's not all Republicans, it's MAGA Republicans. So you mean to tell me that you the hold on, because y'all the party of family values, right? The party of family values. The party of family. Ah man, that's crazy. See, and this is where you don't understand. That's why there's appropriations. That's what this continuation, this CR, the resolution, doesn't work. Because the thing is instead of Republicans actually showing up to work, they're not. What they're doing is that they're not voting and they're not showing up to work. Meaning, if you already appropriated money that goes to military service members, and now you are taking money that is appropriated to something else, that is against the budget. Because that's money that isn't there. If you have money that's already going for it, that means that the money is there. You can't just be going, what's up, Joshua? You just can't be finding other money and doing it that way. That's why they're suing. Because the thing is you got $40 billion to give to Argentina. So why didn't you use that $40 billion that you gave to Argentina to make sure our troops got paid? You had 40 billion to give to Argentina, but then you had to switch up money. You had to switch up money that was already appropriated to the research part of defense and then to pay them, but you have 40 billion to just give Argentina. Oh, no, nothing there? Nothing, right? Nothing. Not now. You got now all of a sudden, MAGA got no answers. Let's change the topic, right? Let's change the topic. Let's change the topic, right? So 40 billion to Argentina, right? Because y'all don't want to talk about the shit, right? Y'all don't want to talk about the real shit because y'all want to switch the subject. But then when somebody that has some intelligence starts putting it down to you to see how stupid you sound with the ignorance and the lies you come up with and the bullshit you keep on giving them, it's like, here's this stupid. Now look at this. Y'all blame Biden for everything, huh? You'll try to put Biden into everything and fucking say it was. This all happened during the Trump administration. Shut the fuck up about Biden. I'm tired of y'all using Biden. It's been 9 fucking months. The tariffs, were they Biden too? Bro, y'all, the amount of nut swallowing y'all do is what's crazy. That's the crazy part about it. The amount of nut swallowing that the fucking squirrels is giving y'all the side eye is crazy to me. Cause y'all keep on coming up with all these bullshit excuses. So Biden funded the first. Shut the fuck up. Biden wasn't even in office. Argentina wasn't struggling. Argentina wasn't struggling. How you that dumb? How you swallow so many nuts? Argentina wasn't struggling till now. After they decided to go and do Doge, right? Because remember when Elon was with the chainsaw and everything, going all crazy? Oh, all of a sudden y'all forgot about that, right? And then Argentina fucking slumped the same way our government is slumping, doing the same fucking tactic as Argentina. But we got 40 billion to give to them, but somehow we didn't have that 40 billion to give to our troops. We don't have that 40 billion to pay the fucking federal workers that are still showing up to work and are still working and are not getting paid. We don't have 40 billion for that, right? We don't have 40 billion to make sure to cover the people that are on SNAP benefits, right? Because supposedly we ain't got no fucking money. She said, Meg the kids who held the class lessons. And the funny thing is SNAP has the money. The USDA has over $5 billion in reserves. Did you know that? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that they have the money to pay SNAP benefits in November? They have the money to do that. But Republicans want to play this hardball game of we just want to continue this shit and then not do anything. Because the thing is if the budget hasn't been taken care of in all this time, why the fuck is Republicans not showing up to work? So Republicans ain't showing up to work, even though the budget hasn't been completed and it hasn't been done in who knows how many years. But somehow you don't want to show up to work. And that's the Democrats' fault. So the Democrats still want to show up, but House Speaker Mike Johnson says we're canceling all votes this week. Bitch, you still getting paid. Mike Johnson is still getting paid. And his easy way of, hey, I don't have to fucking certify Arizona's fucking special election for her representative because then she's the 218 vote for the Epstein. I want to make sure that the Affordable Care Act subsidies run out, which will bring in who knows how many fucking people to be able to have livable fucking health insurance. But no, that's not important to Republicans because at the bottom line, they don't make no money off of it. What money is Republicans making if that? No, because the thing is who you think paid for most of these campaigns? Those pharmaceutical companies. So now if the pharmaceutical companies get to charge more because there's no coverage over it, that means they can raise their prices. Because please tell me what law Republicans have made to try to lower cost. Which law or which bill have the Republicans posed or proposed or came up with to help the American people? No, we're not funding the insurance for Israeli soldiers. What's happening is that if you decide as an American citizen to go and serve the IDF, when you retire from there, the United States will also pay your retirement. That's if you decide to serve as a soldier when you're an American. They get better fucking coverage than I do as a fucking veteran. Imagine that. Imagine that as a veteran. I would benefit from going to Israel, serving in their military, and get a better pension than I would here in the fucking United States of America, which I served. What does that tell you? But you see how MAGA has nothing to say about that, right? You see how MAGA's always talking about America first. It doesn't say how many years, Rebecca. It just says they have to serve. That's what the bill was proposed. They just have to serve on the IDF. It doesn't say they have to retire. They just have to serve as an American citizen. Go over there and serve. It don't say a fucking thing. Yeah, it's not that we paying them directly. You have to serve over there to do it. But even then, you still gonna get better benefits if you decided, hey, I'm an American. Let me go serve in Israel instead of serving in the US military, and I'm gonna get a better pension than I do here. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's the thing. It was just like MAGA gets awfully quiet when you start putting out the fucking information that they seem to not know, or their fucking bullshit ass leaders don't seem to tell them. Because the only thing that MAGA knows is whatever they're told. That's it. Everything that MAGA is told, everything that Republicans tell them, everything that GOP tells them, that's what they know. But when you actually start giving them facts about other shit, they'll be like, that's not true. That's incorrect. I never heard of that. It was just like, where's your source? I was just like, come on, bro. You choose to be stupid on purpose. You choose to be a nut swallower on purpose. You choose to be a bootlicker on purpose. Ain't nobody else doing that for you. Why is it that half of this country, or more than half of this country, knows that when somebody tells them something, you have to verify where the fuck the shit came from? That's what having critical thinking is. That's what having some sort of fucking education does. If somebody tells you something, you go and look it up. And with the IDF thing, you can look up the bill that's proposed. With all the shit that's proposed, it's on congress.gov. But most of y'all don't even know how to use a smartphone when it's on your fucking phone. Most of y'all don't know how to Google shit. Most of y'all had to Google shit after y'all felt the ramifications of it. When y'all start feeling the ramifications of being stupid, then all of a sudden it's just like, maybe I should look this up. Maybe I should look this up when this shit starts hitting me. Hey, it's a different thing, Fred. Because the thing is you can be a service member now. You can be a service. You could do 4 years and end up with 100%, and you could do 30 years and not end up with 100%. It's all on the mentality and all on the documentation and all if you know how to work the system, which is what I do. That's what I do every first Sunday of every month. Or you can check my bio. I have a fucking website that's free for veterans. That if you need resources, and I do the workshop, all you got to do is show up and ask. That's it. I don't charge anything. If you got questions, you ask them. That's it. Every first Sunday of the month, if you're trying to get to 100% and you need assistance, you just show up to the workshop. You don't got to pay nothing. It's on YouTube. You show up, you ask whatever question you ask, and you leave with an answer. If I don't know the exact answer to it, I'm going to guide you to where you're going to find the information, or I'm going to guide you to somebody else. Oh, you are still been okay. But yeah, that's the thing. That's it. That's why I was just like, it's for that. Look, that's another one. If you haven't followed Gina right here, follow her. Follow her. You can ask a question now, political. If it's anything to do with helping veterans and military, I got no problem stopping arguing with MAGA or talking shit about MAGA. If you a veteran and you got a question, ask it. I'm it's more important for me to actually help somebody that needs help than a fucking dumbass that don't want to fucking listen. Plain and simple. Cause MAGA is just a bunch of dumbasses that don't want to fucking listen. They don't want to fucking be educated. They don't want to know how to fucking better themselves. They rather see somebody else hurting and think that they doing better, but just cause somebody else is hurting. Not cause they actually better. It's just cause they made it so that the other person's worse. That's what MAGA is. They don't give a fuck about making themselves better. They rather stay as trash as they are, but they rather make it so that somebody else is having a harder time so that they can be trash just like them. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because none of these people try to improve themselves. Imagine all the people since before the election that have been trying to teach these people what was going to happen, how it was going to go, what these things would happen, what tariffs would actually do. And all these people didn't have the mental capacity to actually to listen to a whole group of people that was telling them their lives were about to get more difficult. There's two. The thing is there's four. So there's four different types of 100%. There's 100% scheduler, which is basically you made it to 100%, but the thing is things they have it as the chance that you may get better, so they have you as 100. Temporary is usually when you have a temporary 100% is when you have a surgery, let's say. So let's say you're going to go for a surgery and that's going to render you 100% for that time period. You will be put at 100% at that time period for that suggested time. Then after that, you will be reevaluated and your rating may change. If you are 100% TDIU, which is the temporary unemployability, that means that you have made it to 100% via having a 70% rating in one and higher in something else. And then from there, when you work, you are not able to make more than the poverty line. So if you are 100%, you'll receive the 100% benefits and all that, but you are not able to work over the poverty line, which is about $15,000. That's the most you can make when you are TDIU. Then you have 100% permanent in total. 100% permanent in total is you are 100%, and then you from there you can go and you can receive and work however much you want to work. So those are the four different ones. So if he's like, yeah, something like that. So that's the thing, is different ways about it. But if he's retired and he has it, it depending on what it is. If it's TDIU, that means that he's 100%, but he can't work. He can work, but can only make up to the poverty line in wages. After that, he's gonna have a whole shitstorm if he makes more than that. If you are 100% permanent in total, you can work as much as you want and make as much as you want with 100% disability on top of it. That's a thing. What people don't understand about this, people not getting SNAP, is crazy. Because the thing is this doesn't, what people don't understand is just like all these benefits, it's those benefits, those 40 million people that are about to lose it are the people that fit that criteria right now. When these fucking subsidies and these fucking SNAP benefits don't go in, there's gonna be more than 40 million people struggling. Because the thing is if you raise prices, most people live paycheck to paycheck. Now, if you live in paycheck to paycheck and now your insurance prices is going up, besides the fact that everything else in the grocery store is going up, and now you don't got no subsidies, you don't got no food stamps to actually, or benefits to actually take care of you, it's going to make things a lot worse. Because the thing is everybody's like, oh, people should get a job. Most people have a fucking job that are on SNAP benefits. Most people that work in Walmart have SNAP benefits. And the only person that fucking wins out on that is corporations, because they don't have to pay you more. They don't have to pay you more because you know why? They figure, you know what? I'm paying you just enough. I know you want benefits, so I know benefits covers the other half. You really think these corporations with their permanent tax cut are going to go out their way now and raise wages to make sure that you have that? No problem, political. Like I said, anytime a veteran comes in and they have any questions, shoot it out. I'll stop whatever I could be mid-argument with a fucking idiot. I will stop and answer, and that's it. Oh, just like it, and that's the crazy thing about that. That's the crazy thing about it. See, look at that. Corporations also get a tax break, which is 3K per person who is on benefits or is a veteran or a felon. So they're getting subsidized for not paying you enough to have you on benefits. But now, all these people that aren't going to be subsidized, all these people that are still working, are not going to be able to afford all the things they can get because they were using those benefits to actually get their food while still working. And MAGA's the party of family. MAGA's supposedly the party of family. Yes, your property taxes can be exempted. Depending on your state, you have to check with your tax assessor. So when you're filing your taxes, go to the tax assessor, whoever does the assessment of your home, and see what they say, because they will be able to explain it, because each state has different laws when it comes to property tax exemption. For some states, if you're 100% permanent and total or 100% disabled, you pay no taxes, property taxes. For some, it's a percentage of what you have, so it changes depending on where it's at. And then you got to look, because sometimes your county or your district may have something further than that. The state may provide something, but somebody else may just confirm something else after that. So that's something you got to pay attention to. But that's the thing. These are all things that people don't understand. Like, healthcare is already fucking expensive. Healthcare don't go up. Like, what MAGA fails to realize, right? Why do you think Luigi Mangoni did what the fuck he did? Why do you think Luigi did what he did? You think it was because fucking prices was low? It was no. People's prices and premiums keep going up, and they keep getting denied for the money that they've been putting in. So please, Republicans, where the fuck y'all at? Because you see how quick to leave. MAGA's quick to leave when you start bringing up facts. MAGA's quick to leave when they know they have nothing to fucking say, and they don't want to be ignorant. Because most of them are probably on their primary accounts, so they don't want to be too ignorant on their primary accounts. But they'll go and they'll sign into their secondary account, and then they'll start calling me boy, start calling me monkey, start calling me all sorts of shit. But they get awfully quiet. Awfully quiet when grown fucking people start having conversations about the shit that's actually happening in this country. That's why I would just say that's why Vegas, they be coming in and they come in and they bot accounts. You notice the ones that actually have their main accounts, they'll say something, and then when I correct them or I pin them, they run away because they know I ain't gonna be done for it. You pay $500 per month on health insurance. That's about to go up. That's about to go up. Because the thing is this is the time period when premiums start changing. Because remember, it starts on January 1st. Your deductible starts over. So they're trying to extend this as far as they can to make it that people start signing up for shit, or they don't start signing up for shit. And then when the subsidies is there, like, hey, your premium is this. But you know what? Medicaid can't cover this shit no more. So, yeah, I know political. I know a lot of people's finding out how much their premium is going to go, and they're going to see what the prices are going up. Mind you, what has changed in the fucking healthcare industry? People, that's the thing people don't understand. Depending in which state you are, you're going to be paying. See, look, open enrollment started on the 22nd. Because that's what they're going to do. But that's the thing. Depending on your job, depending on your state, it all differs. That's the thing. Said I look 25. There's like, that's where it all differs. That's where people don't understand that each state has a different. Because the thing is this is a process you got to look at. Depending on your state, your medical pricing is different. Medical pricing isn't the same all over. It's not flat across the board. Oh yeah, it's gonna go up, but depending on where you at, it costs more. Because remember, if you a state that's full of fucking hospitals, you have more options. So you may have to pay less because of the fact that you have more hospitals. But if you have less hospitals and less capabilities, they're going to raise the prices up. But then remember, if you already have a pre-existing condition or a condition that they know, they raise it up because they know, you know what? We're going to have to pay for this person's shit. We're going to have to pay for this. So you know what? We're going to make them pay for it. And then when the person goes to try to claim it or try to use the fucking money that they've been putting in, they're going to be like, nah, bro, we can't cover that. Sorry. We don't cover that. Even though you paid for it. But we don't cover that. So now imagine the fact that they don't cover it and the price of it is going to go up higher. So what the fuck are you paying for? And the craziest thing is that most of the red states are the ones that go through these problems. Yeah, the meds. Shit. Meds alone is a high cost issue. That alone causes enough fucking problems. Because the thing is those subsidies help with a lot of the fucking pricing. Go ahead, Gina.
So just to give you an idea, super quick, my new rheumatoid medicine, $5,000 a month. My diabetes medicine, $1,400 a month. My headache prevention, $1,000 a month. And that's just 3 of my meds. That doesn't count the pills I take. That's the injections that I take. That's the 3 injections that I take out of about my med list of about 25 things. That's
See,
the set.
and that's another thing that they do right there. What Bobby said, the company I work for don't allow me to put my wife on health insurance if her job offers insurance. That is some wild ass shit. That is some wild ass shit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for those meds to go down to 1,500. I'll wait for that.
Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, they're gonna go down with Trump RX, right? Fucking dumbass Republicans. I swear, man.
Well, I hate to tell them. Guess what? Y'all are paying for them anyway. Because I am 100%
Yeah,
service connected debt. So
it's just like that's the thing. It's just like it's spending more money on insurance and not being covered, and then having all these other things adding up. Because that's the thing. It was just like everything is adding up. Tariffs are real, whether MAGA believes them or not. They're real. Prices on everything has gone up. Nothing has stayed the same with pricing. Everything in pricing continues to go up. So if everything continues to climb, your health insurance continues to climb, and you still getting paid the same amount, you just meaning to get into a tougher time. And that's the part that people don't understand. That's what people need to understand, that everything is going up. It's not just your medical, it's not just prices. Car insurance is going up. Fucking every insurance is going up. Your house insurance is going up. Everything is going up, but we're not getting anything back in return that's paying for the shit that we're wasting.
these
See,
are my
that's all her
daily.
miss. God damn.
These
Yeah.
are my daily meds.
There you go, people. And that's just showing it, and that's her being a United States veteran. So imagine a person that isn't a veteran and has to go through that.
That doesn't count my 3 injections that are in the fridge.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, Ren, the problem I have is just like the suffering that's gonna happen. It's gonna hit MAGA more, which I don't give a shit about them. The thing is it's still gonna affect people that didn't vote this way, and that's the part that bothers me. I don't give a shit about these people. These people, they wanted this, they voted for this, they can deal with it. The thing is that there's people that aren't in that bandwagon. There are people that didn't vote this way that are going to feel these ramifications because you had these dumb fucks going about doing this shit. And that's the problem I have. Oh, crime is gonna, that's what they want. They want chaos. Cause the thing is what happens when people can't afford to do shit? They gonna rob and steal. How you gonna tell a parent, oh, I can't afford to buy my kid food? What you think they gonna do? Just let them starve? No. They gonna find whichever means necessary to make sure that that kid eats some food. And instead of it being given to them where they have it, now they gotta do crazy shit to fucking get it done. And that's the part that bothers me the most, because not everybody out of those 40 million that's on this shit, 40 million of those people, I would say maybe half didn't vote for this shit. So that's at least 20 million people that are going to go through this process, that they're going to be having hard times feeding their family, feeding themselves, because these benefits won't be here. And this is just 1 month. Because the thing is some of these people can maybe they can struggle through for 1 month. Maybe. But at the rate that these people are going through, 2 months back to back without those benefits, Christmas time is going to be crazy.
Christmas time's gonna be empty.
Christmas time is going to be a dangerous time because the thing is anybody going shopping or anything like that, you might get robbed. Why? Because they need to feed their kids. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, not that I want to say that's what's going to happen, but chances are there's a higher percentage of that happening because of the fact that it's just like, hey, if you buying some new shit, that means you got the money to do so. Kids is starving. You got money, I'm going to rob you. So it happens every other time that the shit gets bad. It's not like it's going to get any better.
Cruz. I worked at Blue Cross for 20 years.
Go ahead, Tish. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And, as the simplest solution to fix it, I never went to the doctor, but I paid into my health insurance. So a lot of my benefits would go to waste. And everything in me wanted to give my benefits to somebody else that could use it. And that's the way we should be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I would gladly give my healthcare benefits up to somebody else that needed it.
See, but that's the thing. A lot of Republicans, because that's the whole thing with universal health care. That's what universal health care is. But
Yep.
Republicans will be like, that's socialist. And it's like, no, dumbass. If you ain't sick, you don't need to use it. If somebody does get sick, they get to use it. But now, anytime you do get sick, you would be able to use it also.
And like with especially with the hearing aid benefits, the eyewear benefits, the chiropractic benefits, everything that has a limit. You need glasses? Here. You need chiropractic care? Here. You need a massage? Here. Because, I live in one of the most expensive states, Washington.
Yeah. Washington
Yeah.
is expensive. I got a friend up there in Seattle.
Come up here.
I got a friend in
Everybody says
Seattle.
they're struggling, come to Washington. Simple 3-bedroom houses are going for $1 million.
Mhm.
Yeah. So people are going to be feeling it real hard here in Washington.
It's that people are going to be feeling it terrible everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's like it doesn't matter where you're at or where you're coming from. You're gonna have it, and you're gonna be in a bad situation, no matter what state you in.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have people that are going to be struggling because there's people that have the ability to live comfortably, and then there's the people that are living paycheck to paycheck, and then there's the people that are struggling with the paycheck. So
Well,
those are
even
three
the
different ones
homes,
there, and they're all three going to be feeling it.
the
And
rentals here, we have so many apartments here. And just for a studio apartment is $2,500 a month.
and
That sounds
Trish,
New Yorkish, New York City-ish.
Hmm. Yep.
It's the same
Yep.
thing.
Trish,
And I'm going to tell you, they're shitholes.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. I know.
Trish,
Same thing as
I live in Northwest Arkansas, and the house down the street from me, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, sold for 500K in Northwest Arkansas.
he said no
And
beard growing.
that was a 1994 house built in 94.
Oh my God.
Not even a new one.
And that's
The
and
new,
that's
That's
the
the same
thing.
here. It's the same here.
yeah. And,
They're
and I'm in the
raising
middle of nowhere,
everything.
Northwest Arkansas.
Because that's what happens. That's what people they don't tend to realize when it comes to the Republican Party.
I literally get calls every week wanting me to sell my house. And it's like, where am I going to buy another one? And
But
here's the thing also too.
that's the thing, Gina.
I have a
That's the thing that they
2.25.
noticed.
My 2.25 interest rate isn't going anywhere.
Oh yeah. It's fine. I bought well, but that's the thing. The whole purpose is to have people struggling. Because the thing is they realized that one thing that a lot of people started doing was they started buying homes. The thing is a home may not be it looks expensive and daunting, but it allows you to start a generational skip that most people don't understand. Because the thing is you are now alleviating the thought process and the process of paying for a home when you pass it down to your kids. Now that person doesn't have to worry about a $500,000 home because you already paid for it. All they're taking care of is the property tax now. So that alleviates a lot of stress. So what they realized is more people are buying homes and then they're passing it down, which means we don't have the ability to make that kid struggle. Because now that kid doesn't have to worry about taking out a mortgage payment, and it allows them and it alleviates them to do that. So now they have to find other ways to make shit more expensive so that it keeps people on that grind of continuous working. They want to make it so that it's difficult for people to be successful and pass it down to the next generation. That's why they're going after these farmers also. It's not because they want the farmland, it's the ability to take that away from a family. Because now you can't pass it down generation to generation to generation. And you got like 8 generations of a family that has been living on this farm and they haven't been able to touch it. That's what people don't understand. That's why the American dream is a house. But the thing is if you don't have that house, you can't keep passing it down and start building riches or wealth off of that if you don't have that foundation. That's the foundation. And if you take that away from people, it's going crazy.
This is what I did for my kids. My husband passed away 7 years ago. And the house that we lived in, we paid only $200,000 for it. That was like 30 years ago. So when he died, I sold the house for $800,000. And we'd only been in the house for about 20 years at that point. And so I paid off the loan. And then I went to my daughter and I said, hey, shit's looking real. So I'm going to buy a house outright. But I want you to hold a mortgage, a very small mortgage. And she did that.
Yeah.
So now she will never have to worry about a home. And a lot of people think I'm stupid because I'm only 57. But my life is already lived. So now I have to focus on my children. And I have 4 of them. So when I decided to do this, I said, okay, the house is in your name, your house. I live here. When I die, you
your
won't
house.
have to go through a will, a probate, anything. When
Because
I
it's in the,
die, I
yep.
silently die, and you get it, and you don't have to fight nobody.
And that's what they're trying to stop.
Yep.
They're trying to avoid that because the thing is like, look how many people you hear about everybody wanting to buy a home, but then you tell them, oh, 8% interest, and you be like, what? 8% interest? I don't give a fuck how much the house is, but 8% interest? Ain't nobody want to hear no 8% interest. I was just like, I'm paying much more than that on the house just because of the interest rate. And now they're saying they're lowering it. Even with the lowering of it, the raising of the prices is still going because the communities and the people that are buying them are just buying them to fix them up and push them back out again. That's all they're doing. They're buying these houses, fixing them up, and reselling them and just bringing the value up. Because now that value of that home going up puts the value up of the next house going up or the
That's
house
true.
next to them. And it just brings up the value in the community. Now you got a community that had houses of $200,000, but one person
Mhm.
came in and put $300,000 into one home. Now it's a $500,000 home, and the next one next to it is now going to be going up slowly, but it's still going to go up, and you're not going to get it for the same price because you
That's
keep
what the
on
guy
raising
did
everything.
across the street.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a house that I think he only paid around 400,000 for it. He sat on it for 3 years, did all the renovations, and it is beautiful. All the houses in my neighborhood are only going for around 5 to 600,000, and the guy across the street fucked everybody.
And that's it's
Because-
basically it.
yeah, because now he put it up for sale as soon as he was done. He put it up for sale for 950,000.
And
So
if
it
now
is
somebody
true.
pays
That's
that,
what they're doing it.
if
Yep.
somebody pays for that, now that's going to
Yep.
be the price for that. Now the homes next to it are going to raise in value, even though you didn't have to do anything to it. Because of the fact
Exactly.
that that house is now not, and that's why these corporations are buying it up. That's why they're doing it a lot for the Airbnb also. Because the thing is they can buy a home. They're a fucking bank. They got trillions of dollars. What the fuck is a $300,000 home to them? And then putting another 200,000 into renovating it, putting all new plumbing, all new central AC, all new walk-in showers and walk-in closets and all this shit. They built a new garage next to it. Like all this stuff gets built up and it just brings the price up. Now they try to resell it, and if they don't, what does it become? It becomes an Airbnb where only rentals is going off. They already paid for it. And now they're making money off of somebody that can't afford to actually buy it. Now you're just renting. Now,
Yeah.
next thing you
See,
know, it's like
that's
you
the
live in New York
gamble.
City, living in an apartment again. But now you living in a home, but you paying rent.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Now they don't want you to own it. Because look at it like this. If you live in New York City, I grew up in New York City. My family has been there for eons, I'll fucking say. And it's just like we could have owned so many apartments by now with all the fucking rent we paid. Morning, Lord. There was a we could have owned all those apartments and all the apartments we lived in, all the apartments that we paid rent for, and it was New York City rent. That would have been a mortgage payment for 30 plus years because they've been in there longer than that. We could have literally owned those apartments, but we don't own those apartments. We just keep on renting. And that's the thing. We can't pass down. So basically, what would happen is if somebody in that family that was on the lease passes away, you got to move out.
Yep.
There's no, oh, we gonna let you. Sometimes some landlords will be cool enough, like, we know you live here, we'll pass it down and put it in your name. We gonna raise the prices though, but we gonna let you stay. But then other places, that's not the whole point. The whole point is to make it difficult for everybody so that people do not succeed. People have to have that grind. People have to continue to go to work. And then the thing is you start mitigating that, you start changing that, and you start making it so that it's difficult for people to have what they need. So that way it's just like, bro, you gotta go to work. You can't miss out on work. You gotta pay rent. You got to pay for food. You got to pay for the car insurance. You got to pay for your health insurance. You got to pay for all this stuff. And if prices keep going up and they're not paying you enough, it's like a never ending loop that you won't be successful because you're living paycheck to paycheck just to get by. And then you're not having enough money to invest. You're not having money to save. You're not having money to put away for your kids. And then it's just an ever turning wheel. You just a hamster on the wheel right now, basically. And just keep on spinning.
Yeah, because like here at McDonald's, starting rate wage is between $17 and $20 an hour. That's starting a fast food
What's up,
restaurant.
Southwest? Yeah, but that's the thing. It's just like when you compare it to how much it is to
But
live there.
they can't afford to live here. And that's
Exactly.
what people don't understand. They're making $20 an hour, but they can't afford to live here.
And that's the thing that people, that's the thing that MAGA and Republicans seem to not understand. It was like, yes, your minimum wage is low. You're mad at a McDonald's worker getting paid that much, but then the fact is that if they were getting paid that much in your place of living, they would be living like fucking rock stars. But since they're not, and they're in a place where the actual cost of living is high and they can't even afford to do stuff in that location, that's why they're getting paid that much. Imagine if you kept on paying these people $7.25 in a state where
We would be all homeless.
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why I wanted to hop on, man. Because
So Joshua,
I saw people in your chat that started talking about, like, I locked in my home financing rates at 1.5% or 2%, and people don't understand that one of the current problems we have is that LIBOR, or SOFR, if people understand what securing financing rates means, that when you go and get a mortgage, it's not the bank that's giving you the money. What they do is they borrow cash from the Fed against collateralized Treasury securities. So when the interest rates are higher, you naturally are going to get that passed along to a higher mortgage rate. It's hard to get a house, especially in areas like New York and Los Angeles and et cetera, because you're competing against other people that have interest rates that were near 0% for somewhere around a decade. Well, if I go and try to get a mortgage, it's going to be at anywhere from 4 to 5%. It hovers around now, plus whatever finance charges the bank is going to charge. Well, it's cheaper now, actually, for me to go and rent a house from someone and pay their mortgage for them that got locked in at a lower percentage rate than for me to actually go and try to own equity in my own fucking house. And the number one vehicle in which people create wealth and create intergenerational wealth is through the equity in their home. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why when we talk about the disparagement between the average white and average black, like overall net worth and wealth, and people are able to transfer or take out loans to start businesses because they can collateralize equity and debt in their home. We allowed for almost a century for white people to go out and get these low interest loans or to get loans through the government if they served the military that were not allowed for certain communities. Mm-hmm. Building subsidized homes in areas like, I know Cruz is from New York. Let's talk about Staten Island. We built these communities of thousands of homes in Staten Island and then redlined people so that only certain groups of people could get those areas. Like when you're living in bum shit fuck ass Alabama, you don't understand how finances work in a city like New York City and how we have consolidated and segregated communities in a city like that.
Same in Washington.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I got friends that are from the northern part of Washington D.C. and there's
Washington
no
State.
comparison to the amount of money that is around Georgetown and then the western suburb areas where all these defense contractors and bank contractors and shit all live through that area, through that corridor, is night and day different between areas that are consolidated poverty.
Yeah, I live in an area in Washington State that is considered poverty, and I live in a gated community.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't visualize that, and they can't see that basically because of that. Because the thing is that's what it's like. It's difficult for somebody that's never lived in a situation or in an area like that to compare themselves to what another person is going through. Because the thing is once you've lived in one of those places and you look at what you may have came from or something that's just like dirt poor, you're like, damn, that's a rough situation. And then everybody that's looking up at you is like, man, look at these people looking all nice and all that stuff. And it's just like there's different atmospheres and different environments. In Republican led states, most of the environment is to keep you in that position. They don't want you to be successful. They don't want you to have the education because the thing is they know you will continue to do those jobs, continue to stay there and not try to further yourself.
Well, I think the funny thing, especially when it comes to Republicans, is they will constantly point to someone like Harris and Joe Biden, Obama. This applies to all of them, really. That they have an aggregation of the vote to say, especially for me, like I consider myself to be pretty far on the left. And every election for me in my lifetime has been an exercise of the lesser two evils.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree with Harris on probably 75% of the things that she advocates for, but I understand that I have to go and vote for her because she will cause less harm than the Trump administration will. And they were like, well, oh, there wasn't a primary and she was just anointed and all these things. And like, you have nowhere else to go. You have no other option. But no, you, Republican, are the one that doesn't get answered to. Republican Party owes you fucking nothing. They will never, ever act in your best interest because they don't have to. They know that you're cucked and a coward and will always submit and give your vote to them. No matter what they do, no matter how bad they fuck you, no matter how much of your money they send to Argentina and undercut your soybean farm, you're losing your generational farm. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to bitch and complain.
You're gonna go
but at the end of the day, you're going to go right back to voting for Republican because you can't vote for them blacks and the gays and the trans people and all these other people that you have some kind of grievance with.
Okay, yeah.
You will always kneel like a bitch
and that's
and
proven
answer to the Republican Party instead of having the politicians answer to you. Always.
The easiest way to highlight that is just the farmers. The farmers are the biggest case in point about that. That shit happened the first time Donald Trump became president. He screwed them and fucked them over. Joe Biden was the one that bailed them out. It wasn't Donald Trump. It was Joe Biden that bailed them out. And here we go again where Trump does them and fucks them over some more. And now it's probably going to be a Democratic president that has to bail them out again afterwards. Because look at all this, how we've been able to bail out Argentina before we bailed out our own fucking farmers. We're talking about getting money and cattle from them before we building it up here. I was like, yes, prices have gone up and some of these people are now making a bit more money. Now, fuck Gavin Newsom. I don't trust his ass either. He just talk a good he a good shit talker. That's about it. And most of them shits I know is fucking his fucking political team or whoever his fucking social media team is probably some like 22, 23-year-olds that be roasting the shit out of Donald Trump. That ain't Gavin doing all that talking. He just talk a tough talk. The problem that's going to happen, is this gerrymandering. The gerrymandering is what is going to cause problems in this country. And what people don't seem to realize, it's not about the federal government. That's the talking point that Republicans, the GOP, and MAGA are trying to tell you that, oh, the problem is, we're doing this gerrymandering to get more seats in the House. They don't give a fuck about the House. They don't give a fuck about the Senate. What people fail to realize is that you're gonna get these votes there, but these maps are making sure that the state itself doesn't get turned. They don't give a fuck about Congress. They give a fuck about the state. Because the thing is it doesn't matter what happens at the federal government. The federal government is just full of bullshit and not doing anything. It's at the state level that the change is going to happen. Because put it like this. The easiest way I can explain this is like, look, Roe v. Wade happened at the federal level. The Supreme Court changed it. And what did the federal government say? Hey, we're going to leave it to what? The states. And what did certain states decide? Look at Texas. We just going to make it a criminal offense for you to get an abortion. That had nothing to do with what the representatives from Texas are doing. Because Jasmine Crockett's from Texas, but she had nothing to do and nothing to say with those Texas abortion laws. Because she was at the federal level. At the state level, this whole redistricting, removing Democratic seats, is making it so that way the Democrats have a harder time of winning back the state. Which means all these rules and all this stupidity that's being passed now by the state will take even longer to be reversed, because there's not going to be political seats for the Democrats to oppose it. So the only way you're going to change that is if you have those red districts become blue. And the chances of that happening are very fucking small. So now if you do that across the country, all these red states continue to gerrymander. You got Missouri just did it. You got Texas doing it. Indiana's talking about it. All these states are now redistricting to supposedly get more House in the Senate, which doesn't really matter because you got to remember it goes off of the census. The House of Representatives goes off of the census, not off of these people voting. It's how much your population gets to do that and then do it that way. But in your state, if you have if you have the positioning that's all red, even when you have a lot of blue people, it don't matter what the blue people say, because it's all red. And that's what people need to start thinking about it. It's just like they're not paying attention about it. It's just like, yeah, but Southwest, that's the whole point, is to blame it on California, like, oh, you're gonna take these seats. California's always been blue. California will stay blue. But the thing is
just
if
like
you
Washington,
redistrict the
Oregon.
shit, what was that?
Washington and Oregon will stay blue as
Yeah,
well.
they're gonna stay blue,
Well,
but
it's
the
a
red states will be the ones that are worse off, and they're the ones that are gonna continue to need more subsidies. Because imagine cutting out Medicaid. How much you think these blue states are gonna have to now fork over to these red states to keep them afloat?
well, I mean, more to your point, it's all about an entrenchment of power,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's been deliberate and a concerted effort by those in power to hyper fixate and focus on the importance of federal elections, the House, the Senate, and ultimately presidency. I don't even think Donald Trump won, to be quite honest with you. I think the people in power need him there because he is the ultimate buffoon. He's a tool of power that they use to, like, say, look at this buffoonish distraction and don't pay attention to local politics that happen in your state, local, and city level. And the fucked up thing is that whether the pothole in your road gets fixed, or what the quality of education that your kids are going to receive, or how the police in your area are going to interact with the public, things that affect your life on a day-to-day basis, those aren't being affected by the House and the Senate and the president. That is affected by your mayor and your local Congress members and your state representatives. And people don't even know who those people are. If you're going to get involved, either go and run for those offices or get involved in campaigns for those offices. You are made to feel that you are one. I keep hearing this idea of people saying, like in Arkansas, if you talk to them, I'm a blue dot in a red state. You are made to feel like you are negliged. You're alone. You're isolated.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what's your one voice going to matter? What's your one vote going to matter? You're going to go out and campaign against Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Let's say you do a really good job, and instead of her winning with 65% of the vote, she wins with 64% of the vote because your advocacy was so strong and you spent so much time. Well, what a waste of your time. But that local election, that was swung by 100 votes, you could have flipped that result.
Mm-hmm.
That primary where you had this blue dog Democrat that doesn't really answer to you or represent you, they answer to some whatever local business interest is in your area. They only won that primary by like 34 votes with like 400 people showing up. You get 100 more people to show up to that election, you completely change your representative. Even if you're in a place like California, go out there and primary these people. The time to do that is now. You talk about Gavin Newsom, right?
Mm-hmm.
The time to oppose him is now.
Yeah.
And we also have a responsibility, though, to understand that in the end, if Gavin Newsom is the presumptive candidate, at that point, okay, well, now I have to engage in harm reduction and go and vote for Gavin Newsom. But I have multiple steps before I get to that point where I can challenge him, challenge any corporate Democrat in your area, primary these people, join DSA, get out there and meet people, network, build community. The time is now to do that.
And
that's why you're here listening to Cruz. That's why you're here listening, talking with us.
I just want to say I voted for the rocket scientist, not Sarah. Because the guy that was running against her was literally a rocket scientist. Why would I do that? Because Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a dumb shit. Number one. Number
so we're putting Cruz in Congress now.
So number two, she also literally struck down the child labor laws. They no longer require a work permit for children. Tyson Cruz is under investigation for having children as young as 12 working overnight on your production lines in 2 plants in Arkansas.
I was like, that's the thing. That's what people don't realize. That's why they wanna lower that goes in part to the whole lowering of the age of consent and lowering the age. It's most of them is for these pedophiles to get away with their shit. But then it's also to make it that, hey, if you are 14 years old, you are not considered an adult. But that means you're not going to complain about these wages. You're not going to complain about the things that you should be complaining about. You know why? Because you're actually making money for the first time at the age of 14. And that's what people don't realize. All these this lowering of the age is to have more workers. It's not because they want to benefit. Oh, because kids should have jobs. Why the fuck should a kid have a job if the fucking adult working the job isn't even getting paid enough?
And I also want to throw out there, that's the other reason they're trying to get rid of the Department of Education. They want our children to be the new slave class.
It's always been that way.
Yeah.
Education
they've always been trying
tailored.
to indoctrinate people that way. It's always like since the Industrial Revolution. That's what it was. They wanted people to be working. So what did they have to do? They had to make it so that people got used to working in those positions. They had to make it that your kid got used to staying in a school, sitting for that many hours, not only getting that lunch break and sitting throughout the whole thing, so that way when they went into a job, they got used to it and it's already ingrained in them to sit in a place, work for a whole bunch of hours, and then go forward. That's why school has always done that. That's why they want to make sure that the curriculum sticks to certain things where they don't actually educate the kids. They just want them to know what they want them to know that benefits them when they become adults and become working age. That's why critical race theory is a big thing to eliminate, because they don't want you to. It's not only because you're going to see what slavery did, but you will also see all the different things that different races associated and did to their people. The more aware you are of how you're being discriminated upon, how you're being basically exploited, the less you're going to want to be exploited.
Well, it goes beyond that. They don't want people to engage in any kind of critical analysis or
Yeah.
your material realism. Because if you start to engage in like a critical race theory analysis, then you have to worry that kids might sit back and go, I wonder what other hierarchical paradigms existed within society that I'm not addressing. If they're willing, the people in the power structure paradigm are willing to have this suppression and subjugation and violence and brutality and segregation of black people for 100 years, as well as then chattel slavery for 400 years before that. They're willing to do that. Who else are they willing to do that to? Maybe women. Maybe, the non-binary gender people. Maybe the poor white man living in the trailer park. Maybe he can get it too. Maybe we're going to start learning about union crackdowns where we used to send in military soldiers to break up people that were advocating for 40-hour work weeks and overtime pay and protections against hazardous conditions in the workplace and all these things that we today take for granted, pretending that, it was only 50 to 80 years ago where we would send children down into the mine shafts,
yep.
Because it was easier to fit them in there because their little bodies and their little fingers could get in there and do delicate operations and stuff. Like, this is just shit we just used to do.
Well, that's why we have
my parents' lifetime.
That's why we have summer break so that the kids can work. That's why we have daylight savings so that the kids can work.
Well, a lot of that has to go back to our history as like an agrarian society.
But when my kids went to school, right, like Cruz was saying, sit down, do your job. My son could not sit down, so he was always the problem. And they wanted him put on drugs, right? Because
to make it more manageable.
He wouldn't sit down. And I said, okay, let me explain myself a little bit. I'm a conservative, but I'm a conservative with myself, not with the rest of the world. Okay?
Well, that's understandable.
Okay, but no, listen. This is where the conservatives get it wrong.
Well, you're not just real quick though, you're not a conservative then.
No, I am. Now listen.
Because the difference is that you advocate for choice.
I do advocate
other people have a choice.
But
you can choose to live your life your way.
Yes.
Which is by, certain morals or values that you have.
Right. And
but
I don't
impose
that
position.
On anybody else. And I'm a Christian. So when Cruz dogs the Christians, I had to bite my tongue a little bit. But I understand where he's coming from. And
well, I think it's important
Cruz,
to make a distinction.
This is what
here.
we have to remember. Cruz, listen, you'll love this. I was born with a free will. I was born with the freedom of choice. That's what God gave me. That's what my Lord and Savior gave me. Why the fuck wouldn't I give that to anybody else?
Well, but there's a difference here. I'm a follower of Christ.
Right.
I'm not an evangelical Christian.
Exactly.
Those are two different things.
Right.
Wildly different things.
Right. But I believe in abortion.
That's not being a conservative.
No,
conservative means that you have to conserve. It's in the name. The hierarchical structures as they exist in society.
I conserve me and my house,
Soggy?
not Cruz, not you.
But that's the thing that these people don't understand.
This is what I'm trying to explain to you. That means you're not a conservative.
You have. I would say you have conservative beliefs, but you aren't a full-on conservative.
Well,
you have conservative beliefs to yourself, to basically within your family,
right?
In your
but back
realm.
in the day, do you remember when blue was red and red was blue, and then we switched?
I'd like to say I'm colorblind. I like to say I'm colorblind.
But Josh, you remember, right? Back in the day.
Well, I'm not that old, but
okay. So
I'm aware of the historical.
Back in the day, the red was blue and the blue was red, right? And then you live in Washington State, right? One of the biggest liberal states, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have the gay pride nude parades and everything, right? Now I choose not to attend, but that's my choice, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's the choice. You have
It's
the
the
choice
choice.
to do what
Everybody
you want
has
to do.
that choice.
Everybody has the choice, but the thing is with these supposed Christians, they like
Yeah.
to make it that their choice is what everybody else's choice should be, which is contradictory to the whole fucking thought
Whole thing.
process. And
Yes, right.
that's why I dog them, because the thing is I'm an atheist, but the thing is I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in a Catholic household, and I saw what the Catholic thought process was, and then I was just like, I had to educate myself on different religions. I had to see how the Muslim religion was. Why? Because I deployed overseas to the Middle East, so I wanted to understand what their culture was about. And then you start looking at different cultures, you start looking at Buddhism,
Mm-hmm.
and you start looking at all these
Mm-hmm.
different things. It was just like, man, all y'all people believe the same fucking shit. Y'all call it a different fucking name. Y'all got the same fucking holidays, change the name. You believe all and everybody should love each other and take care of each other, but y'all do the exact fucking opposite.
Right. And so let's talk about immigration for just 1 second. So I married an illegal immigrant.
Okay.
Are you ready to get on that? So everybody thinks that they're coming through the border. They're coming through the border illegally. They're coming and they are invading us. That you know how they're doing it? They come here
The legal way.
legally.
I know.
Mhm.
I
And
That's
know.
they
what my
overstay
husband
visas.
did. My
I
husband
know.
came here legally as a student and never left.
And that's the thing, is that MAGA doesn't understand that. The
Yep.
MAGA thinks that these when Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and all these dumbasses want to say all these numbers, it was like, oh, they're illegals. Most of these people, if you've been here, because the thing is like MAGA can't put together the fact that, look, you just told me that they got a person that was here for 30 plus years. So
Hmm.
how the fuck did they come in through the Biden administration?
That's right.
Well, I
Like, the
mean,
math ain't
but I'm
mathing.
no.
Like, how stupid do you gotta be to not understand that? If a person was here before Joe Biden was president, that means that they were here before Joe Biden, but you just want to associate them with that to make it look like your numbers are larger than what they really are. All these
Yeah,
people
my
have been
husband
here
came here
in
in
this country for
1982.
decades. They've been
Yep.
working for decades. They've been
Yes.
paying into shit for decades. Why? Because they
Hmm.
came here legally. They got their number, the numbers, basically the ITN or whatever,
Yep.
to have them there, and they were paying taxes, meaning that
Yep.
they were contributing to society. Now, if the shit expired, they were still paying taxes, so they were
Yes.
doing more than most of these fucking dumbass MAGA have ever done.
And I told my husband at the time before we decided to get married
There's a gossip
that
that
I
been
was
stating
going to
take place.
marry. Hold on, she's mad. Get your sauce packet.
I think this is, you know, like, while you get your dog under control, I just got to tell you that, like, it's really confusing because you are not a conservative, but you think like a conservative. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you, and all of your justifications for your belief structure are dealing with anecdotal evidence and how it affects you personally. It's very self-centered, which is pure conservative ideology. But if you took the time to actually engage in philosophy and start to tie back your beliefs to first principles, even if your first principles are going to be a belief in the Bible and Christ as king, and like, that's fine. You know, if that's the basis of the foundation of your belief in society, tie it back to that. But you can easily do those things.
I don't vote Republican usually.
This is what I'm saying, though. You can
But
tie
that's the
those things
thing.
back to that, and then you're a liberal. You're literally a liberal at that point.
Because the
Because now
thing
you can
is
argue.
the voting thing is you're not meant to just vote one way. That's the fallacy of MAGA and
Exactly.
Republicans. Well, not all Republicans. With MAGA, because MAGA just thinks, well, my daddy voted this way, his dad's dad voted this way, so we got to vote. No, so you've had a lineage of stupidity going through your family. That's all you telling me basically. When your daddy voted this way and his daddy, you just have a lineage of just fucking stupidity because you didn't actually look at anything else. You just looked at it from one side and never heard anything there. If you mean to tell me that your family always voted this one way and it doesn't amount to anything that has benefited you in all that time, then that's a problem. Because the thing is, when people say I voted Democratic or I voted for a Democrat, well, they made SNAP benefits. They want to continue SNAP benefits. That's something that benefited me or benefited people in my community that was struggling. Republicans didn't do that. It was just like certain things were done by certain people to do it. But then it's always at the end of the day, there was always some benefit towards people. So Jim Paskey, the former White House press secretary, stated and came out with it. We already knew that J.D. Vance was not going to stay with his wife. We already knew
Well,
that. We already knew that.
it's a
We already knew that.
there's also a disconnect here, and people don't understand the difference between positive and negative freedom. And what the Constitution engages in almost completely is establishing negative freedoms. It doesn't give you rights. It restricts and limits what the government's allowed to do. That's where people get, like, the Second Amendment's a perfect example of this. You do not have the right to bear arms. That's not something that's conditionally given to you through some almighty power creator. The government is restricted from impinging upon your choice to go out and own a firearm. But that also opens up to, I can restrict positive freedoms from you because the Constitution did not enumerate you with positive freedoms. So when I say you can't own a surface-to-air missile or a bazooka or a claymore or a tank or anthrax, weaponized anthrax, like, these are arms that are beyond the scope of what is conducive to being beneficial to society. I absolutely have a right to restrict you from that. And it's people, Republicans, either are arguing in good faith, or they're arguing in bad faith, I should say, or from a position of ignorance, to sit there and say, well, I have this unfettered freedom to own any armament I want. No, you don't.
The funny thing is that then the thing is that they have that same right, but then they don't use it to actually go against tyranny. That's the funny part. I was like,
Well,
you have
we
that
know
because they
they're
gave you the
cowards.
Second Amendment to give you the ability to stop a tyrannical government. But here you are with tyrannical government and you don't do it.
But that's cosplay. Like, they imagine themselves that they're Rambo. That one day when the oppressors come, they're going to pull their guns out and take on 30 men and shoot them down and tie a bandana on their head, first blood, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's silliness.
Political babe, my bad if I blocked you. I was trying to block that user wanting to slip. My bad.
The majority of the MAGA Republican cowards want to desperately cling to their pistols because they're afraid. They're afraid of the world around them that's constantly changing and leaving them behind. And they're told constantly that Mexicans are besieging the border and there's a black guy that's going to come and fuck your white daughter and take her away from you. And he's
That's
scary.
what I was raised with.
There's going to be some scary guys going to come and sell fentanyl to your dog. And, like, so they got to desperately cling to their gun and protect themselves from the danger that's coming. It's coming for them. It's
the
paranoia.
danger that they've never been able to fucking man up to in the first place.
Well, see, and when I was in high school, so I lived in North Seattle,
look
which was the better area, and then they wanted to bus me clear across the other end, right? Because that was back when they were trying this. We're going to send the white kids to the black area, and we're going to send the black kids to the white area. That was.
It's because
How did that
it's
help anything?
that's the thing. The thing is it's that note. Like I said, perception is a very big thing. Perception and perspective are two different things. And the thing is that people misalign those things because the thing is they had maybe they had the perspective of seeing something that was wrong and they associated and made it a perception of everybody that is like that. That's what it is with a lot of people. A lot of people have that one problem with, let's say, a different race, ethnicity, or whatever the case, and then they broaden it to say, oh, everybody is like that. But then the thing
Well,
is when somebody does it back to them, they're like, I'm not like that. I was just like, no, because the thing is if you were racist and you were racist against a certain people, you've been doing this for your whole time. So if a person calls you racist, you can't tell me that a person is out of line for saying that you racist. And that's what these people tend to do. They like to associate that and be like, oh, well, I had this one problem with an African American, and since then, I clutch my wallet every time I walk by one. I was like, so you perceived it as you had a problem with one person, and now your perception is the rest of them is going to try to mug you. That's what you call ignorance. And that's what it is most of the time with these people. They see it or they hear it. Oh, I walked by this African American and he looked at me funny. So now every
But
single time, it was just like, bro, that was just one person. Maybe they were having a bad day. Or
do you
maybe you
remember
just a
Paula
piece of
Dean
shit.
when she got canceled? Paula Dean, do you remember that one?
Yeah. People
See,
every
that was her one experience with one black dude that got her canceled.
and that's what it is. And
I
that's
mean,
what it is. A
how
lot of people
canceled is Paula Dean though?
eh,
Like she's still selling her cookbooks and pots and pans and all the things that
she's
she's
not as
always. I'm like,
famous
come
as
on.
she would have probably been if it weren't for that. But the
She
thing
was
is
very famous when that
when it
came
comes to
out.
that racism, the racism
Mhm.
still alleviates and fucking brings in all those other racists no matter what. Because the people that sided with her are the ones that were being racist and be like, oh, there was nothing wrong with that. I was
Well,
just like,
but
there's nothing
then
wall, but they never
But
say I do it.
this
but
is
like
what
this,
I don't understand, right?
but like I want to
Everybody
address.
canceled her, right? Pretty much,
I
right?
want to address what was said before about northern Seattle and you talking about the forced busing,
Yes.
where it was like, okay, that happened to all other areas around the country, and you have to understand that the reason that was done is because of this fucked up eugenical idea that we have. It's an understanding that white people are better educated and smarter and genetically superior to others. So what they did was they said the issue is that the black school underperforms the white school, not because of the lack of resources we give to the black school, the fact that we have this fucked up way of funding schools that are based on property taxes and millages, and in these areas that are, you know, the capital flight that happened throughout the entire 50s and 60s, that we stripped all of the money from these inner city communities and sent them out white flight to the suburbs, and then built these newer, asbestos-free, technologically superior schools in the suburbs, and that's where all the white kids go to. The issue is not that, because then I would have to address a capital flight issue. Instead, it just must be that this school is better and superior because the white kids are superior. So I'll take some white kids and pick them out and send them to the black school. And then I'll balance the white school down by picking some of these dumb black kids up and dropping them off in the white neighborhood to lower their scores. And that'll balance things out. It is a misunderstanding of eugenical superiority. It's why we did those things that you're talking about. They are fucked up. We have to, if you want to see any kind of balance of the inner city schools that are predominantly black and brown to be brought up onto the same level as white kids, it's not by denigrating and lowering the performance and standards of the white kids. It's by injecting capital into the impoverished neighborhoods to stop funding schools based on the property taxes that are milled from those neighborhoods. It has to be leveled out to some degree. if not completely. I think you should be. Like, I think that the quality of education should make no difference what area of town I'm in. Like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
If I
yeah.
am,
I'm totally there with you on it.
but if I'm like a well-meaning white person that makes good money, and I want my kids to have a quality education, I'm going to move out to the predominantly white suburb where I know that they'll get a better education because there's more money flowing into that school. So I'm going to take my money and add it to that district, and that school's going to have even more wealth, and that's going to attract even more rich people, and that school's going to get even wealthier, and then it's going to attract more. It's just we're going to keep compounding the problem forever and ever and ever.
Well, right. It worked. In that sense, it kind of worked, right? Because Washington State has who? We have Amazon. And where did they build? And then we have Microsoft. And where did they build? Right?
Redwood, I believe, right?
Yeah, right. And these weren't such nice neighborhoods back in the day.
But that's also what you got to notice that a lot of these corporations tend to do. They go into those impoverished communities because then the thing is they know that they can drive those people out. It's the same thing like how we were talking about the housing thing. They know that the
gentrify
thing
the
is,
area.
they gentrify the area because it's cheaper at first. It's cheaper to start at a place. Why would I go to a place that's already going to cost me more when I can go to a place that's not going to cost me as much? But as I start building it up, I start adding a Starbucks on this corner. I put a Dunkin' Donuts on that one. I start putting this over here. Property value starts going up. Rent starts going up. These people can't afford it. They start moving out. I start getting people that can afford it. And then from there, I just rinse and repeat and keep on doing it till that neighborhood gets more wealthier. At the meantime, that corporation property value kills up, and that's how New York City was. I went through that gentrification in Washington Heights in New York City, uptown Manhattan. I've lived in downtown Manhattan. I lived in uptown Manhattan. Uptown Manhattan, they call it the Little Dominican Republic. How do you get the rest of those Dominicans to move out? You gentrify it. You start adding all these places and all this stuff that supposedly adds value when none of these Dominicans buy there. Just like, but you keep raising the prices up. That means the rent goes up. If they can't afford it because wages ain't going up, that means they're gonna have to start moving to the Bronx or to the Queens or to Brooklyn, where it's a bit cheaper for the same thing. But then it gets gentrified, and now you have somebody that doesn't give a shit about paying the money to a building that isn't fucking worth it, and then they just keep on doing it.
Yeah.
I remember Bedford Stuyvesant, when I was a child, was a rougher neighborhood. It's unrecognizable now. It is all high-rise condos, multi-million-dollar penthouses, fancy pizza joints and sushi.
Yeah.
But Red Hook's still fucked up.
So yeah, certain areas they don't, because the thing is, in certain areas it takes longer for them to actually fix, because some of them don't want to go through the monetary constraints to do it. Because the thing
Red Hook's
is
not appealing to a Manhattanite.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we shove all the black people there.
But
and
that's why the
area
stuff gets
stays
there
forever impoverished and fucked up. There's no capital injection there.
But
unless
then,
you want
but
to go
then
build a
that's
liquor
the thing.
store.
But that's
It's
the
fucked
thing.
up.
Then it makes it that, hey, I know I'm gonna go to that other place because I know that place is an actually better community. So then it starts starving those people of resources, which is the same thing that keeps those people impoverished, keeps them without the resources, but starts sending it over. Because the one thing I never understood about education is, because it's run by the state, it shouldn't matter what fucking school you go to. Y'all should all be teaching the same shit if it were like that. It shouldn't be a difference. It's like, oh, well, I went to public school 1 and you went to public school 2, but I learned 2 different fucking things.
I couldn't even make it in public school 2 nowadays.
Just like, I'm like, the fuck? I was just like, because I did that when I was going, I went through public school first, and then for high school, they made it that you had to test. So in New York City, you had to test to see if you can get into the top 5 schools. And I was just like, okay, I got into one of the top 5 schools because I was great at math. So then I did that, and I was just like, I realized it's just like, if I would have gone to that other school, the fucking math wasn't gonna be any fucking different. Calculus is still fucking calculus. It's just taught by somebody different. That was just like the only thing that I would have learned differently is fucking history, and that would have been because they taught me different things. But the same knowledge and the same information is available to everybody. But you had to make me test to see, oh, this person has more math skills, so we're gonna send them here. I was just like, at the end of the day, it did prep you better because more money went to that school. But at the same time, you had people that were in those bad schools that were fucking geniuses, but they never got the opportunity to go or take that test to show they were geniuses. So it's just like the amount of people that you have slipped through the cracks because they're in impoverished communities and you sent them to an impoverished school, but they didn't have the ability to move out to a better school. It just hurts society as a whole. Because the thing is the amount of fucking people I grew up with that I'm just like, that make me feel stupid. And I don't say I'm stupid, but they made me feel stupid because of how fucking smart they were. And I'm just like, this person went to this school? I was like, bro, this person could have taken my spot and it would have been fucking, this person would have been somewhere out in the world right now. And it's just like, it's crazy to see it that way because you have so much education and so much people with talent that get lost because of impoverished situations like that where the money doesn't go where it should.
Here's the problem, right? We root for, let's say, Wilson, the quarterback that made how much money to not deliver, to not do his job. And so we put so much on, and this is our biggest problem in the world, well, at least in the United States, is that we pay entertainers so much money and we think that they're worth it.
I don't have a problem at all with it.
Yeah, I know. I do.
But I mean, they are the sole example of people that I think are the only ones that can justify that it's their actual labor that created the wealth that they have.
No.
Like LeBron James doesn't become, I think he's close to a billionaire now. If not,
He's close.
he's close. But he didn't build his wealth because he built a company and then created an excess labor value by subjugating his employees and taking advantage and underpaying them so that he can strip the excess profit value and keep it for his own money. He got paid because he went and dribbled the basketball and shot the basketball, and they paid him a lot of money to entertain people, selling jerseys, selling shoes, being commercials. Like, he actually generated that money by his own work. He's not in the same category to me as Jeff Bezos, who didn't do anything.
The only reason I have a problem with it, and the thing is like, it's part of the machine. Because like I said, any sports entertainment now is basically the Colosseum back in Rome. It's just there to fucking make sure you are not paying attention to what's going on. These people that get these crazy contracts, they do work off their labor, but the thing is that they have a bigger pull on society, so that's why they get paid more also. They have a better pull of distracting you. LeBron James has been distracting this country for how long?
But I mean, what I'm saying, I understand that, like, there are forces at play that want to push.
No, I understand that. I agree with you. I agree with that they work. No, I don't fault them for that. I just think that it just happens that they get paid that much because of the fact that they have that influence across the nation. Because LeBron James, if you talk to kids, right? Who's the GOAT to them now? LeBron James. You have people divided.
Well, he is the GOAT, though.
I'm a Jordan guy. I'm a Jordan guy. I'm a Jordan guy, but look, that alone is a big dividing factor. You having your sports team is another dividing factor. You having a different baseball team, dividing factor. Basketball team, dividing factor. Hockey team, dividing factor. That's one more way, another way that can be added to basically distract you and divide you. Because I could divide you red and blue. But then you might start thinking alike. I can't have that. So you love the Steelers. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm not going to like you. We may have the same political views, but I might just not talk to you because of the fact that you're a Steelers fan. Or I'm a Mets fan and not a Yankee fan. And people look at me, but you from New York. And I was just like, oh, you a Mets fan and not a Yankee fan.
Nobody
and
from New
that's
York is
already
a Yankees fan unless they're from the Bronx
well, yeah. Well, not
or Jersey.
kinda.
Wait,
Well,
your
yeah.
teachers need to be paid more, right?
That's yeah.
Right? And that's part of the problem, right? We have low wage teachers and we need higher wage teachers
But
to
that's
put
the
up with
thing.
some of the bullshit that's going on in the schools.
Is that they don't want you to have that
Right, but I don't
influence.
understand why you want to make this into an either or argument. Like, we don't have to like take money from LeBron James and give it to the teachers.
I
We
say
could just
take
pay
it
the
from
teachers
LeBron
more.
James. He only
I
plays
say take
82
it from
games a
LeBron.
year. He only plays
Yeah,
82
and
games.
take it from all
See,
of them.
now,
Don't get me wrong.
from baseball players,
I actually think he
I'm
should
not.
be taxed more.
Baseball
But
players,
like,
I
I don't
understand. These
fault him
motherfuckers
for the
play
amount of salary he gets.
162 games. For baseball players, I think is the only ones that should pay, and football, because football don't even got guaranteed contracts the whole way. Baseball and football and hockey to me are more than basketball, because basketball you play ball every 2 to 3 days. Baseball you playing daily for a whole stretch of 162 days, and you playing in heat, cold, and everything.
That like we're gonna hyperfixate on LeBron James as an athlete, but like the majority of NFL players, their average career span is 3 years. And
Oh
most
no, I
of
know
these
that. Yeah,
people
but it's a
are like
contact
not.
sport all the time.
Yeah, they're not making multi-million-dollar contracts. They're like unpracticed and get
You
their
get
knees
your-
blown out in 3 years and like get your money now.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't even have. They should have guaranteed contracts throughout. If you sign them, they blow it out. Have like an insurance clause in it that you don't get paid the full amount because you don't play. Hockey, same thing. These people are hitting each other all the time. Basketball, it is contact, but it's not one of those excessive contact. Baseball, have you tried to hit a 99-mile-an-hour fastball?
That's what I've always said. You try to hit that ball with that little.
It was just like,
tiny thing
it's
that's
not
coming
wrong.
at you.
It was like, even basketball players are good. It's just like, I think they get their money, but the thing is it's the atmosphere that they do it that is just like, hey, these people get paid a lot because they can influence and take away your thought process and make sure that you forget about what's going on with the regular world. Because look, what was yesterday, Sunday? Who was paying attention to the shutdown?
Nobody was watching the football game.
Yeah, everybody was watching the
I
football
get-
game. You see what I'm saying? There's
but
that
like
distraction.
And didn't the Mariners win the World Series for the first
Right, but
time?
what I'm saying though is if we claw back the LeBron James salary, that just means more money for the owners of the teams.
Yeah.
They're not going to like reduce the ticket prices down to like as a show of good faith and
I used to
will
go
to you
watch the
because LeBron James'
Seahawks
contract's
play
lower.
for
So I'm all for
for
him getting as much as he
$30 a
can.
game.
But that's the thing. That money comes from the
Now-
revenue they generated.
Yeah,
It's
and
true.
now
It's
the
just like
money.
the
Now
distraction.
I can't even afford to go to a Seahawks game.
Well, I mean, let me ask you, who has a problem with LeBron James' salary?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you are out generating work for whatever company. I don't know what job you do, but you have a job. You go out and generate money for your company, and they pay you whatever salary based on the amount of revenue that you're generating.
Mm-hmm.
You go out and do a really good job. So good, in fact, that your customers are like, I gotta have this service. I gotta have Tish, she's the best.
Uh-huh.
They can now start charging double. They can start charging triple. How long are you going to go saying, I'm cool with getting paid the exact same salary that I'm getting paid now?
Okay, here's the difference between me and LeBron James. Did you hear that I gave my wealth to my child before I died?
But that doesn't answer my question. I asked
My answer is I would never be LeBron James. I will never be Michael Jordan. I will never be Jeff Bezos. I will never be Elon Musk because everything that I do, I put back into my family, my friends,
Okay.
people who need the help. I would never be a billionaire because
Right,
my
but you're
money
out here
comes
working.
and my money goes.
You're out here working. You understand that
Yes.
your performance is so elite that the
There is
owner of whatever company you
nothing
work for
elite
is able to charge
about
triple.
him.
How long is it going to be until you say, hey, if my effort is tripling your revenue, you need to pay me more money or else I'm going to go work for someone else.
I don't work off of money.
That's
Well,
it's
that's
a
insane.
different it's different, Joshua. Because the thing
You don't
is
work
it's
for
different
money, you work for
perspectives
free?
for different people. Because the thing is some people agree with LeBron getting paid, and some people don't. Me, I don't think athletes should be getting paid that much. Because the thing
Yeah, I
is
don't. That's an insane statement. The person in chat is calling this out here. What do you mean you don't work for money? What's the purpose working then?
I
You
work.
should go homestead.
I work.
well, no, she works, but the thing is that she doesn't work to like contribute it
And you just
to
don't care how much
anything
money you
else.
I don't.
You just don't care.
Some people don't. Some people don't.
I don't. I
Some
don't.
people are just happy with the fact that they make enough money to take care of their
Yeah.
stuff and take care
My
of
goal
things.
in
That's how
life-
I am. That's how I am. At
This
least.
is it. This is where I am.
I
My
worked. I
goal in
served the
life is
military.
not to get $1 billion.
It's to take
a
care of my
million.
kids
I've
and
had
set
a
my
million.
kids up for the future.
I've
That's it.
had $1 million.
Well,
then I
you're
gave it away.
the model employee. You're the model employee because, and you're who the Republican Party wants to breed the American population to be, is to be like you.
No, because
We will make
I'm
money off your back.
I'm
Don't
investing
question-
my money into
But
my.
that's the thing. The
generation.
difference
Don't
is
question how much we reimburse you. We will
It's
abuse
not
you.
questioning that.
You
The
won't
thing
care
is
how much money you make.
But the thing is she's making sure to take care of what she's doing with her money.
That's
She's not
irrelevant.
making sure that it's not irrelevant, because the thing is look how many people worry about getting a paycheck, but they go and spend it on bullshit.
But it's a silly argument. I'm sorry.
No,
If
because
you
I
were
understand.
able
I understand where she's
to
coming
argue
from.
for
Though.
triple the money, guess what? You could do triple the good in taking care of all these people you're talking about taking care of.
I see both y'all points.
Instead,
I see
you're
both
just letting
sides.
your
But
employer.
listen, if I needed to do that, I would. For
You're
the
allowing
sake
your
of
employer to
my
subjugate you. You're a slave.
But my generations,
But
my
that's the
next
thing.
generation is
You can
already
be your
taken
own
care of.
self-earner. You can be self-employed and do that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing, because
I
I'm
just don't understand why you
self-employed.
just don't.
I'm self-employed, so basically for me, I make money where it's just like if I want to make more money, I can go and get a job if I wanted to make more money. But I make enough money that I can take care and prepare and further my family. Now, does that consider other things? Because there's other considerations. Because I'm a disabled veteran. I can't do the same shit I used to do. So I have to take that into consideration where I can't be working a 40-hour-a-week job and have my fucking back give out on me where then I can't work at all. So me working when I can, I use the money I do make, but I do it smartly. I invest, I save it, I put it back into the community, I put it into my kids' funds, I put it into the stuff we need. So it's different on how you do it, because the thing is some people work, but they work because they want to keep up with the Joneses and they not living with the Joneses. And then you got people that work and then they do it, but they make the money, but it's to make the money to be okay and be happy with what they have. It's two different. I see both y'all sides.
What you go and do with the money is irrelevant. I'm talking about if you know, because here's what LeBron James knows. Hey, owner of the Cavs or the Lakers or whatever team, the Heat, whoever he happens to be with at the time, you are making billions of dollars of selling tickets at higher prices because I'm here.
Yeah,
So
see, but that's the thing. LeBron James
money.
isn't the only one. That's the thing. That's a team It's a team orientation. So the thing is you pay people differently, and that's how every corporation is. You pay people at different wages because somebody's more important than the other, but they all need to work together to get the job done. LeBron can't put up assists if he plays by himself.
Right, Cruz?
Yeah, I understand.
You understand sports. Okay, the Cavs before LeBron James, you could go and buy a ticket for a Coke and a smile.
Yeah,
Nobody gave a fuck about watching no Cavs game.
That's
you
how
could
it
go
always
get,
is.
Tickets general admission like $12.
I'm a Mets fan. Trust me. I'm a Mets fan. I
Same
understand
argument
this.
here.
I understand.
All right. Pete Alonso comes to the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the Mets are able to charge more money for admission because people want to go watch home run king hitter Pete Alonso.
But the thing is
Pete
it's
Alonso
not only him
say,
doing
hey,
it's winning.
I know the owner of the
also.
Mets is making more money because of me.
The only reason it's because they're
Pay
winning.
my money.
You have to have a winning culture. Because the thing is LeBron could go anywhere, but he's not going to be able to raise prices if they losing. You're not going to be able to do it. He's still going to be playing basketball. He's still going to be playing basketball.
Argument to his money.
Yeah, but the thing is like you can't tell me you want to charge more or get paid more if you're not producing enough to get more people in the stands.
Jersey sales.
Yeah, jersey
if
sales
I'm
is one
selling
thing.
more jerseys. Hey, NBA, you need to pay me more money because if it wasn't my jersey, nobody would have bought a jersey. So
no, because people would have gone
more money.
You're making more money off the team. You're making money off a player, but if that player isn't producing and the team ain't winning, you're not going to be able to say I'm worth this much. The reason why Stephen Curry was able to do that was because Stephen Curry won multiple championships with his team. So that's why the evaluation of the Golden State was like $1 billion.
And you can't make this argument as a Michael Jordan fan.
How?
Because nobody gave a fuck about watching the Washington Wizards.
Everybody watched it because people watched it because
of 40-year-old ass came there.
Yes,
and they weren't
but the
shit.
ticket prices were not going astronomically higher.
Yes,
but see, they went higher because you're talking about Michael Jordan at the end of his career. Because Michael
Jordan is a sideshow, right? They weren't winning nothing.
Yep, he wasn't winning there, but he got them to the playoffs. He still got them to a actual winning season.
Come on, man.
He got him to a winning season. That's what brought people in. If Jordan would have been scoring 30 and they would have won 5 games, you wouldn't have been going all crazy to watch him.
Yeah, but if
the same thing with LeBron now. People ain't going now.
What does that have to do with nothing?
People ain't paying attention to LeBron as much now because the Lakers ain't winning. The Lakers ain't going far, so it's just like. But that's what I'm saying. That's today. When he was with the Cavs, he did winning
a $40 million a year contract neither.
But that's the thing. The labor agreement changed that. So then they raised it up. Because you got people that ain't LeBron James making like $35 million a year. So basically the people that are close to LeBron James, some of them don't have the legacy of LeBron James. And they're not bringing in ticket prices. They're just doing. I want
to keep going back and drilling down on the Tish comment.
It's because everybody doesn't see money the same way. Everybody does not see money the same way.
That's the entire purpose of working.
No, it's not. Because some people work because some people like to go to work because they love their job.
They can do that.
And they don't care about the pay. You think nonprofit people, like nonprofit people, they go and work at nonprofits. They don't go for the money. They go because they want to make a change. They want to make something and change society in a way where they can benefit from it. They could be making a shitload of money if they did it on their own. But they decided, you know what?
Profit.
Yeah, but the thing
is not monetary, but it's profit.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why people don't care about the money. That's what I'm saying. It's not caring about the money. You're making it that it's just like you have to care about the money at all times.
I am talking about strictly the money. Your boss has tripled his revenue due to your work.
Okay.
It is within your right. You should.
It's within your right.
Cut of what I've created.
It's
this
within
is the problem.
I understand
why
that
capitalism persists.
Yeah,
because
that's the thing.
People believe that these bosses are somehow greater than or specialer than and deserve all of your fucking extra labor capital value.
Ain't nobody saying that. The thing is people are working to a certain thing.
Say, I don't do it for the money. Just pay me whatever you feel like. I'm a good little slave employee. And
no, because the thing is you're still going to ask. You're still going to get your fair value. You're going to get paid what you need to be paid.
That
You're
wasn't
still
her
gonna do
claim.
what you can. Yeah, because
Her
she
claim
doesn't
was,
care
I
about the
don't
money because
care
she's
about
getting paid.
my fair value.
She's at the
I
point
care
in
strictly
her
about
life.
you give me whatever you feel like.
Because the thing is she's at the point in her life where she has the money and she has what she needs. She has the money that she needs. She doesn't
So do
need the
I.
extra. She doesn't. Okay, but then you want to
But
make
I'm not
more
going to go out and
money.
work for free.
Yeah, she didn't say she was working for free, did she?
Nope, not.
She didn't say she was working for free. She said that she's not as concerned with how much she's getting paid. There's a difference between working for free and getting labor and letting the employer take advantage of you. And there's a difference that you are working, knowing what your value is and not needing to exceed it or go lower, because you're making what you have already what you want. And this leaves you mentally stable, leaves you comfortably financially. And that's what she's meaning by that. She's
That
not
wasn't her
saying that she's
claim.
going to go.
No.
She's saying that she don't care about the money. You
Right, her
took it
claim-
as she works for free. She never stated she worked for free.
She said, and my claim is that she's saying that her labor value is irrelevant in the calculation of how much money she gets paid.
Exactly.
That's insane.
But she's saying that because of the fact
Then
that
you're
where
a
she's
jerk.
at in life right now,
You might as well
she
go
don't
find a
care.
king and be a peasant.
That's the thing. That's not the
setup
whole
that you're
necessity
talking
of
about.
it. No, because the thing is she's older. She's already has it established. She already has a kid with a house. She already bought her kid's house.
That's all
The house is
irrelevant.
already there. No, it's not irrelevant because she doesn't have to work as much and demand as much, and she can live her life still comfortably with what she's making.
He would die if he knew how much money I actually need to just live. Right?
It was just
I
like
have
you.
very basic needs.
Do you invest your money?
Yes, I invest my money in my children.
No, I'm saying like you would invest in like markets.
No, I invest in my children.
She puts the money to her kids.
Okay, so when you invest in your children, do you not give a fuck what the actual outcome is, the tangible benefits of what you're investing into them? Like, for example, if let's say you're investing into their schooling, right? Should you just like not care how good of a job they do in raising your kids or educating your children? Because it's just like, whatever.
But that has nothing to do with how much she makes.
I got enough money for it to be cool.
Okay, for one, my kids are probably your age.
But that's the thing, that the money she makes
Like
has
you
nothing to
invest
do
So
with that.
my
What, their
children have all been in their jobs for over 10 plus years. My daughter makes a lot of money working for Boeing and the executive. Okay. I invested my time, my energy, my money into making sure that my children are well and they know how to navigate life, how to handle finances, how to critically think, and how to just be self-efficient.
Okay, well, if your daughter is an executive at Boeing, I promise you that she didn't get to that
she
position.
works for the executives.
Okay, she
and
works
yes,
for the
she makes
executive
a
at
lot
Boeing,
of money.
and she makes a lot of money, and she didn't get to that point by having an attitude of, it's cool, I don't care about the money, I'll be a entry-level position person at Boeing, and ignore my qualifications, and ignore how much money that I actually generate for Boeing
Actually, she
with
did.
my
They offered her
experience or
when
my work
when
ability.
Boeing hired
Like, pay me
her
whatever
as a
you feel like,
secretary.
Boeing.
Listen,
care about
when
the
they
money.
hired her as a secretary, they offered her $65,000 a year. She was just going to take it. But her best friend in the background said, no, honey, you need to ask for more.
Yeah.
And she said, no, 65 is fine. And he said, absolutely not. Right? And see, for me, I would have said 65, fine. And then work your way up. Okay? But then he said, so now she's making $85,000 a year.
Okay.
And she gets all the perks that the executives get. She goes to Dubai, she goes to Australia. She can watch all the Seahawk games in the box seats, the Mariner games in the box seats, everything.
Okay.
Right? But I invested in her to do that.
That's cool and all. And I'm glad
that
when she got to that position, she had a better attitude of just, hey, Boeing, I'm your fucking slave. Pay me whatever you feel like,
But that's the
regardless
That's
of
the
thing.
what
Not
problem.
every
my
Is you think
regardless of what
human
my
life
value I
has
bring
a
to your company
value,
is.
a
the thing
dollar
is
value, and
you
human life does not have a
you're
dollar
going
value.
you're
It
going
does
after
in the terms
corporations
of
because of
generating
your
surplus
hatred towards
labor.
corporation. Your hatred towards the corporations is what makes you think that people need to make sure that they're always fighting for their value. Not everybody has to deal with that because not every corporation is a piece of shit. Some corporations value you and they give you that stuff, but then some corporations do not. Some people can go to a job like,
Oh,
look,
we're talking
me
about
when I was,
Boeing though now.
yeah, it don't matter what. I used to work in the military. I paid myself. I worked in the military and I paid myself. Federal taxes and state taxes paid myself to serve this country. I didn't like it in certain instances because I hated the people I worked with. And in certain instances, I was fine with what I got paid, even though I know I was working over 100+ hours a week and I was still getting paid the same amount I was getting paid. But it was because I was fine with the people I worked with. It was just like, I understand where you're coming from. You want to get what you earn. And that's the thing. When you can't, you leave and you go somewhere else. But the thing is for everybody, it's not that thought process. For some people, it's the thought process of having the convenience, of having your time and not having that extra responsibility, not having that extra
You're adding
stress.
a bunch of extra shit.
No, because the thing is that all goes into the job you get paid at. No matter what job, if you're working at a job, you're going to have external instances. You're gonna have external things that pay towards how much you get paid and what's going to it. Everything is involved in that. Because if you're getting paid, that means you have to go into a job place. You have to work with other people. You have to see about benefits. You have to see about all these things. But some people are just happy with the fact that, hey, I'm getting paid. My mental health is good. My health is good. I don't give a shit how much I get paid. I can live day by day. I can take care of my family, take care of my future and my kids' future, and I'm not concerned. For other people, it's no. I want to demand the most I am for what I do, and that's okay. But all those external factors still factor into how much you get paid and how you go about your life. Because not everybody's life goes about the same way. You want to go at it like fuck the corporations, and I understand that. I agree with fuck the corporations. But at the same time, I do agree with I'm not going to have to pay extra because then that shit may come with extra factors that I don't want to deal with. But I'm still going to get paid. I'm not working for free. I'm getting paid.
Compensation does not just strictly refer to money. So if you want to stick to my example and add a bunch of extra caveats to it, that's fine. I generate triple the amount of revenue for my boss.
Okay.
So I say, you should triple my salary. And they go, well, we can't do that. But what we can do is give you more PTO and more vacation time to spend with your family. And you get to go sit in the box seats at the Seahawks game or whatever Trish was talking about and send you to Dubai and all these other perks. Well, okay, fine. That can be part of your compensation package if you decide that that's what's good for you. But my point is that you are still should be compensated in some way for tripling the value of your labor.
And that's why she's saying that it's not all on money. It's not all the
fine.
money, because that's what I'm saying. It's not all about the money. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Not everybody concerns it with just the monetary factor. Because the thing is, like you said, all those external factors count. Because the thing is for me, I would have stayed in the military if I would have known I was going to get more time with my family. I would have done another 10 years in the military. But what did they say? You're going to get more responsibility. You're going to get more pay, but you're not going to see your little one grow up. So now that's an external factor, because the thing is I was going to get paid more. I was going to make more money, but I was going to lose the possibility of taking my kids to school every morning. That's a factor I took as consideration for me not to do that, because I could have been more money. I was going to get promoted to Sergeant First Class in 10 years when most people it takes 14 or 15 years to get to that point. So I was going to get promoted
now to your labor responsibility.
But that's like I said,
you
perspective.
To give more to this company.
No,
this company, of course, being the U.S. military.
That don't mean I got to do it. You expect me, you're gonna pay me, but I could get promoted and become a shitbag right after.
Right.
And I'm not tripling your value.
You're,
Look at a bunch of these NBA players. Cause you want to take an example.
But
you want to talk about LeBron.
Tish's argument.
So put it like this. Look at LeBron, right? LeBron is getting paid 3 times because he's bringing up the revenue. But what happens when LeBron doesn't bring in that revenue? Should LeBron take a pay cut?
Yes.
Yes.
Is he taking a pay cut? Are you going to say I'm going to give money back? No.
Well,
you're not going to. You're not. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying. You want to say that you are bringing the value up by 3% and you want to get paid 3 times more. But if you ain't bringing in that 3 times more revenue anymore, that means I should take away what revenue it is. So instead of 3 times, you only brought in 1 time.
They will seek to take that money away from him.
But you already brought the value before, so why would you take it down? You see what I'm saying? It was just like,
LeBron
but that's the
thing.
thing.
Get a max contract. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, he will. He's been getting max contracts every year. Every year he leaves and he re-ups for a new contract asking for more. And the only reason that they give him, they keep on giving it to him. Why? Because he's LeBron James and he has this legacy and all this stuff. But he's not producing the same. When's the last time he won a championship?
Because he brings in revenue. That's why.
He brings in revenue in a place that's going to bring in revenue regardless.
Right.
That's the same thing as New York. Right? In New York City, the Yankees haven't won in years. And what do people still go and watch? The Yankees. When you are in a high-value place that has high-value customers that have money that they can spend with no care, it doesn't matter how much you pay them because you know you're going to keep making more. LeBron James is bringing in money to Los Angeles, but all those celebrities ain't broke. All those celebrities have the money to throw over a fucking thing. That's why the whole front row and third, fourth rows is just nothing but celebrities.
But LeBron James is a different argument in LA because they believed that he gave them the tools to actually win, and that was what was important to them.
And that was the fantasy.
Now that he's older, he's older in the tooth. Let's put him on a team like New Orleans. Right? LeBron James is not going to go to New Orleans and make them a contender to win all of a sudden.
He wasn't going to go to any other team and make them a contender either. That's the fallacy a lot of people think about LeBron.
Right.
LeBron has had help with every team. They brought help to make him get there.
This is completely irrelevant to his money.
The thing is, like I said,
sport argument now.
But now, to keep it simple to the money is perspective and perception to everyone is different. To Tish, she don't care. To you, you care. That's the difference. To you, you care about the corporation because you know how the corporations have probably screwed you out before. So you want to make sure you get your top dollar. Maybe Tish went through the whole process where she never got screwed over and she always got her fair money value. And she's built it and used it to take care of it. She's saying that she don't work for free.
In your example, you should be in the military. And then they should come to you and say, hey, guess what, Cruz? We're going to give you a promotion. It's going to cost you, time with your family. You're going to have less time to spend with them. Also, we're not going to give you any extra money. Fuck you. Do what you're told. And Tish is going to say, well,
no, she's
I'm not doing this for
that.
The money. I'm not doing this for the time with my family.
You're taking it out of context in that way,
I'm just
Joshua,
doing it for
she's
whatever.
not saying
Like,
it that way.
Pay me whatever they feel like.
She's not saying it that way, and that's the thing. You're taking it to that context, and she's not taking it like that. But that's what I'm saying. She's fine with what she's doing. You are not fine with what she's doing. That's the difference. For your situation, you would be okay with doing that. For her, it's not. So it's two different things. It's two different people. You can't expect everybody to think that they have to hate the corporation and ask for that money. But the thing is you're not going to change the dynamic anyway, because the thing is a corporation is run by a multitude of people. If the multitude of people ain't thinking the same way as you, Joshua, you are not going to be successful. Because what are they going to do? They're just going to replace you with somebody that doesn't care.
Because I have people.
But see, that's the thing.
Same way that I do.
Your company. You see the difference there? Because you're running the corporation. So it's different because you want to make sure your corporation is successful. So you're making sure that you're going to pay top dollar to the top dollar effort because it's your corporation. It's not Tish's corporation.
Everything works off a percentage.
She's part of the corporation. See, but that's the difference. For you, it's different because you're looking at it as a corporation owner and the person employing people. So you don't want no pieces of shit working for you, which is understandable. But that's your perspective because you're seeing it from your business aspect, whereas Tish is not seeing it from that aspect. She's seeing it from the aspect of, I'm not owning this shit. I'm just working for a company, but I'm not fucking going all crazy for it. I'm getting paid and I'm doing what I got to do. For your corporation, you have to be doing what you got to do to make sure you are successful. That's two different perspectives, but y'all still y'all still happy with what y'all doing, and that should be the end of it. It should be that you're happy the way you're doing it, and the way she's doing it is her way. If it works for her, she's happy. She's not in an early grave because of stress and all that shit. It works for her.
No, what I'm saying is that if Tish worked for me and she tripled my revenue, I would feel unethical to keep the surplus value of her labor and not cut her into it. Whether that be money or more time with her family or trips to Dubai or whatever.
But that's the thing, Joshua. The thing is that you are an actual good business owner.
Right.
That's the difference. You are an actual good employer. Good business. That's the difference, Joshua. That's where you are what people are supposed to be. Yes. And you're upset at the fact that people don't get treated like that. And I completely understand you. You are what a business owner is supposed to be. But the thing is some people don't do that, and some people don't take care of their employees. Yeah, basically, like they say, you're the exception, Joshua, here. Right. Because you actually take care of your people. The problem I have
is that Jeff Bezos, I'll never make Jeff Bezos money. It's impossible.
You don't want to.
No matter how successul I ever am, I can't strip enough people away from their money to raise to his level. I can't.
Yeah, no, we understand that. But the reason Jeff Bezos is allowed to do
what he does is he has enough Trish's hoodwinked into thinking.
He doesn't.
You should be happy.
Doesn't. I work for Jeff Bezos, and you know what he's doing?
There you go.
Because there's Tish's.
There you go.
Listen, because there's Tish's, what is he doing? You want to talk about Jeff Bezos? What is Jeff Bezos?
If Jeff Bezos could replace you with a fucking robot and kick you out in the street,
he's already done it.
And that's why. That's the thing. With you being a good owner, you want to take care of your people. With Jeff Bezos being a piece of shit that he is, he's just going to replace you because he'd rather not pay you the 3 times you worth, and he would rather hire 3 different people at that same low wage that's going to do the same job that Tish was doing for 3 times the pay. That's the difference.
Right, but I want you want to keep your job, get into robotics.
But I want to make sure that we understand the paradigm shift here. When it's Tish making more money for Amazon, her attitude is, it ain't all about the money. I don't want to press Jeff Bezos and take any food off his plate.
That's not the thing.
But when it's in the reverse, and Jeff Bezos has to say, I got to make sure I do right by Tish, what he says is, I'll replace you with a robot, and you can starve on the street. I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. That's what he thinks about you.
But that's how they do. You don't think that way. That's why. Yeah, that's what we say. Fuck him. But the thing is
from him.
She's still getting paid. No. She's still making money. She left the job.
Yeah.
And she went somewhere else. Because the thing is she wasn't valued. And that's what I'm saying. People are getting, but that's the thing. She never said she wasn't getting money.
My resume she never said she wasn't making money. Okay, I've ran businesses, I've owned businesses, and you know what? I will take a little bar back job. I will sit there and hobnob with the fucking drunks in the casino, okay?
That's a
different perspective. I don't care about money.
I'll tell you this. I am happy that you are in the privileged position to be able to think that way. But the guy that makes $7.25 picking packages for Jeff Bezos in an Amazon warehouse does not have that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the problem. That person probably doesn't educate themselves either. That person making $7.25 doesn't want to improve. They're okay. They don't have the
resources.
Everybody got time. Everybody got the same 24 hours in the day.
Level.
Hey, Joshua, I don't believe in that because everybody got the same 24 hours in the day. That's
on,
the way
man.
I was brought up. Everybody got the same
Come on.
24 hours in a day. It's not the
But
same.
we're not.
Yeah,
Then
you're
why
gonna
aren't we all
have to
Jeff
struggle.
Bezos?
Well, that's the thing, because not everybody goes about it and schemes the same way.
Come on, man.
It's the truth.
We can't
What
all
did
be
Jeff
Jeff
Bezos?
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos
Someone's got to
what
dig
make
the
to make
dishes.
sure
Someone's got to clean the toilets. Someone's got to
somebody
flip the
decided
hamburger.
that they're
Who's gonna
gonna
do that?
exploit. Somebody decided, you know what? I'm gonna make a business and I'm gonna exploit the shit out of my people to make myself rich. You not doing
Society,
that. Jeff
society
Bezos
doesn't
did.
work
Bill
if we're
Gates
all Cruz.
did. All those people do it that way. You're doing what you can, Josh, to make society better. These people are not, because they meant and got into it to exploit. You think Elon Musk made all those billions because he was trying to help people? No, he got into it knowing I got to exploit every single fucking person that I can. Because the thing is, at the same time, you may be asking for 3 times that amount because you know you bringing that revenue, but I know somebody that's going to work just as hard that just needs a fucking job because they can't get a job to do the same fucking job for cheaper. And until everything, the disparity doesn't get taken away, that's the thing. You make sure to pay your people. These people don't, because they're trying to replace you.
That's right.
They're trying to replace you.
Elon Musk grew up with the mentality of being an emerald-mined Nepo baby.
Yeah.
And he looks at people like me and people like Tish and think of us as just working, no class ants.
Exactly.
That he is better than us just from a stature of he was born into riches and privilege. And
he thinks he's better. He thinks he's better than us now because he's at the top now. But he didn't think that before.
Oh no,
he didn't think he was better. He grew up that way, but he didn't think he was better than people because he wasn't the richest people, and people didn't know who the fuck he was. Ain't nobody give a fuck.
His dad owns an emerald mine.
But nobody knew what. Yeah, but nobody knew Elon Musk in the United States. And nobody knew that emerald company. Sure
that we nail down here when you're talking about Elon Musk specifically in South Africa, that he views black people as racially inferior to him,
that's what I'm saying. The thing is that they have that complex and they continue that complex. They continue that complex of exploiting people. That's why I said the reason why you're not going to make it to Jeff Bezos' money is because you ain't exploiting people. Well, because everybody has made it there to exploit. Every single person that you see at the top thing has exploited. Yes, and then what did you decide to do?
But I worked for yourself. Other people, and I knew that I was a human being doing that. Yes, so I can have empathy that other people that work for me now are human beings.
But that's the problem. The problem is that you're thinking that everybody has empathy.
Souls. I know. That's what I'm saying. Jeff Bezos doesn't.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
Humans.
So he takes over the people that don't have that mental capacity to understand that they can be valued somewhere else. That's what it is. They're taking people take value where they are accepted. Some people believe in the value that they give, and when they don't get it reciprocated back, they leave.
That's right.
But if we're of an understanding that the Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and the majority of corporate ownership have a disconnection of empathetic feeling towards their employees, they view them as beast of burden.
But Joshua, this is what I'm saying. Look at the people you're dealing with. Look at MAGA right now.
Racial components when people look at you.
Look at MAGA right now.
Gender components when people look at Tish.
Look at MAGA right now. MAGA's going through the same thing you're talking about and is getting exploited. We've been telling them they've been getting exploited. And what has changed? Some people you just can't change. The society is going to continue the same because you're going to still have these dumbass people. You're still going to have MAGA running rampant. We've been telling them this shit for decades and they haven't changed. And those are the people that those corporations exploit. That's why they can't exploit people in other cities and big cities because they learn how corporations run. Those poor red states, that's how they exploit it. You think that they wanted to change shit and build shit in Alabama for shits and giggles? No, because they know they dumbasses is going to be the people that don't ask for money, don't ask for the raise, don't ask for their value because they happy they have a job, but they're going to be slaved down till the end of it and they won't leave. That's the same thing with that Hyundai plant. It went to where? Some middle of fucking nowhere fucking county where it was dumb MAGA people that didn't know and weren't going to ask for any raises. That's why they keep exploiting. Because until you don't educate people enough to get them better, they're not going to be doing what you're saying they should be doing. They're going to believe that, oh shit, I'm getting paid, and they're good with it. Because look at MAGA right now. MAGA, a lot of these motherfuckers work hard as shit, and they should be getting paid more. But they don't because they're too dumb to ask for more money. So until we don't fix that stupidity, we're not going to be able to make it that people get their fair wages when you have a dumbass that'll take a job for less and will work twice as hard. That's the whole thing. That's why I'm saying it's different when it comes to perspective and money. Because the thing is with MAGA, we have the same situation. These people be working hard as shit, get paid shit. But they don't ask for more. Until we don't change that mentality, we're not going to be able to have people earning what they deserve. Because you're going to have that dumb MAGA person that's just going to be like, well, Elon Musk said he's going to give me a job, so I'm going to take this job.
Yeah, no.
What you going to do?
But this is the point I'm making. I don't think that's exclusive to MAGA. Because Tish is saying she's not MAGA, right? Tish is not MAGA. She doesn't engage in, believing that there should be subjugation of people into lower phylums or classes of society, but due to race, due to gender,
but look at what Tish
she doesn't believe that.
Tish left Amazon because she wasn't being valued.
That's right.
That's the difference there. Tish knew that she had more value and she left that corporation.
But she
whereas you would have dumb MAGA
conservative.
Yeah, because she has her conservative beliefs in doing that.
If I begin asking you questions that would alleviate some of the things you talk about with MAGA, people that are willing to be paid half as much and produce twice as much value. If I want to address those things, Tish, who's not MAGA, but just she says conservative, but I think she's probably more in that moderate sphere.
But then you have to, that's why I say those external factors matter, because the thing is Tish is older. Tish is already established. Tish already has her kids. They're grown. They're taken care of. There's a difference in that. And there's a difference if Tish was 25 years old and she just had a kid. She's still paying on her mortgage. She's still paying on that. Then making more money is a must because you want to get yourself out of that debt. But if you already established and you got all that shit, money is just extra money coming in because you just don't have nothing to spend it on. So you can have all this excess money, but you don't want to have all that craziness. It's like, I understand.
Right, but we can address those things through policy. But Tish stands in the way of that. It's not MAGA. It's that the majority of our country. Tish, should we raise the minimum wage?
In Washington?
Everywhere.
I don't know. I know in Washington we did.
If you want to make sure that people are less inclined to be getting paid half their value while making twice as much revenue, having an establishment of a minimum wage being raised would ensure that there's a threshold in which they can't go below in terms of what they're being reimbursed as compensation.
But that's the thing, Joshua. What would you put minimum wage at?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm talking about raising it as a concept.
Yeah, but raising it as a concept, but that's the thing. Most of these corporations have been making trillions of dollars yearly, and they still paying the fucking little bit that they do in their places. So it doesn't change, because the thing is at the end of the day, like I said, it's those corporations that we need to change. Yes. The mentality of these people doesn't matter because they don't change, and the corporations can't do.
Because Josh,
hey,
listen,
Josh, what have we been telling them? Go vote for Democrats. It's going to help you get more money. And what did they do? Case in point, again, the farmers. Hey, you can make more money. You can make more money if you voted Democratic. What did they do? They voted for Trump again. Got screwed over, like you said, and got screwed over, fucked over, and they voted for him again. So it don't matter if you do that, because the thing is they're dumbasses. The educated people leave. The educated people move and do better things. The uneducated don't. Now they're hurt. Yeah, exactly. Now they're hurting and now they're crying. And that's what I'm saying. The corporations take advantage of that because of that money.
I'm not going to try to rationalize someone whose voting identity is, I really hate black people and want to harm them. Me
See, but
trying to
that's the thing.
explain how material conditions
If
work
you,
is not like it's a waste of my time.
but that's the thing. If you're ignorant enough to hate a person because of their skin color, you're ignorant enough not to know you're getting exploited.
I agree. So, but I'm not having a conversation with them right now. I'm talking to Tish.
Yeah, but she's not MAGA. That's the thing. She
I
thinks for
understand,
herself.
right?
The difference is
Right.
if
I
you would have
know
had this
she's not.
conversation with MAGA, they would just be like, but the corporations
I don't waste
should
my time
are
having
trickled
conversations with
down.
MAGA.
Yeah, I know, but that's the whole point. That's the thing. Her viewpoint is she has some conservative values. She calls herself a conservative. She's not racist, and she has different values that she goes into. But she's also older, and she's also established already. Once you get to that established phase, if you really want to make money, you can. But at some point, you just don't need to do it. If I wanted to make billions of dollars, I'd be working 3 different jobs right now to make sure I can have extra money. But I don't. I live comfortably right now.
Here's
Should there
the
be
thing.
a wealth?
Here's
Should
my
there be a
belief,
wealth cap?
Josh.
Yes, there should be a wealth tax.
Tish, should there be a wealth cap?
Oh, cap
Yes.
or tax?
Yeah, cap.
You said cap?
Cap.
Hell no.
Yes.
There shouldn't be a wealth cap.
Beyond a certain point, it's 100%.
From my viewpoint, yes.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just wondering as someone who used to work for Jeff Bezos.
I was like, I don't think there should be a wealth cap. I think everybody should be able to make as much money, but everybody should have the same
think if
opportunity
you're making-
to make
Should
that
I
money.
get-
think
should I
if you're
get taxed
making,
more?
okay, maybe not so much a wealth cap, a fair tax.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about a percentage that's high enough. If you don't want to make it 100%, fine. But let's have a percentage like we did in the, I don't know, 1950s, the entire 1960s.
We could go back to the
1970s,
Reagan era where they had the
economic
highest
growth.
amount.
Yeah, 91%.
And
Not
look,
100, but
but the thing
we're
is
discouraging
what?
it to a
Even
great
though
degree.
those people were getting taxed 91%, they were still increasing their margins.
should I be
Even
allowed,
with that tax, it will still happen.
should I be allowed to, right now, I've got about $8.5 million in equity. I don't pay any taxes on my capital gains. Because what I do is I go out and I get a loan against my equity. It's a security-backed line of credit that I get. I pay no taxes at all. Should I be allowed to do that? And if you think that what I'm doing is fucked up, understand that what Jeff Bezos does is 1,000 times more egregious than
Oh, I
anything I'll
know.
ever do.
I know.
Should we be allowed to do that?
No.
That's what I'm saying, like Joshua. There's a bunch of things that need
But
to
you
be
vote for people that
changed to
like,
change it.
make sure that they continue doing that.
She voted for Kamala.
Well, I mean,
I
I think she also would have. I think that if I remember correctly, she wanted unrealized gains to be taxed at something like 1%, wasn't it?
It was still a tax that you weren't paying now, though.
That's true. That's true.
And would still that 1% of that 8 million. How much is that? That's still a lot of money
it's beyond,
coming in.
I believe it's beyond $100 million.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And
assets.
the amount of people that have that are very limited. So 1% to a person that makes over 100 million a year, they're not even gonna feel the difference.
Nope. It's like putting a full tank of gas in the
Because
car.
that's
also
the thing.
something that I think that like people need to understand. I think I should get taxed more.
Yes, you
fucked
should.
up.
I
I pay
understand
less
that.
as a percentage of taxes.
But that's
than
the
anyone
way
that
the
works for
thing
me,
is, and that's
than
why they
Cruz
don't want
and
to
for Tish and
educate
everyone in
people.
chat.
They don't
It's
want to
bullshit.
educate the people for that, because the thing is if everybody gets educated like you, Joshua, and knows how to use collateral and leverage their collateral, we wouldn't be worrying about universal health care because everybody be able to afford this shit. But that's the whole point of keeping people dumb, keeping the education system bad, making sure that people are working in wages that they know they're not going to compete against anybody because they can't educate themselves. They don't want to educate themselves because they're fine with it. Once you old and established and you near retirement, You just happy to fucking go travel and do shit because you already did all you had to do. But for somebody that's just getting into it, they have to work for the money and they're trying to maximize all their money because of the fact that it's like, shit, I still got all this shit to pay off. But when you get to the point where you've already paid everything off, you ain't concerned about the corporation because it's like, man, fuck these people. You don't want to pay me more? That's cool. I go and I get paid and I'm still going to be good. I still got my dividend checks. I still got my fucking royalty check. So that's what I'm saying. I understand both y'all sides. One of y'all, you, Josh, are the one of the few exceptions when it comes to being a fucking employer that people want to work for. There's not enough of you out there because you want to make sure if they're doing good for you, you doing good for them. Other people don't want to do that. Other people, these multi-billionaires and damn near trillionaires, if they don't have a commodity that somebody needs, they've been exploiting people the whole time. And until we don't educate people to learn that the exploitation is what's holding them down, we are going to stay in this same fucking cycle of having corporations being on this bullshit and having them listen to anybody that says anything. They nickel and dime employees because they know they can. Because they're not going to say anything. They're just happy they have a job. People getting a fucking 5-cent raise when they should be getting $1 raise when the corporation just made an extra fucking $1 billion in revenue is the problem. But the thing is nobody goes and asks that. That's why you see all these corporations have a problem with unions. Look at the Amazon, the Teamsters. The first union that they did, they trying to get rid of that. Why? Because people are fighting just like you to make sure people are getting their worth. But the thing is without educated people that know how to go through the law and fight the law, they have that problem. That was just like, that's the problem. Until we don't the education part is the problem here for everybody. Because the thing is the struggle, the perception, the environment all matters and it's all related to the same thing. Because it all came from one thing and everybody's just trying to survive. Everybody's just trying to make sure their future's good. Everybody's trying to make sure their kids is good. The thing is perspective on different levels, different ages, different experiences varies. Your experience varies from my experience. My experience varies from anybody's in chats and it varies from Tish. So it's just like the older you are, the less you start caring about shit. But
I want to make sure that I'm clear here. Like, don't make me out to be some kind of a saint. I do these things because I believe that they're morally and ethically correct to do. But I also believe that it is more productive and it is more beneficial to me in the long run. But I have to do these type of things and operate in a area of trust and a belief that I'm doing right by people. Because, like, a great example would be like my equipment cost. When you are part of the profit sharing model, you're less likely to go ramrod the shit out of the equipment and break things and cost me, CapEx infrastructure investment. That is beneficial to me. And, because you help me save money, I'm more than happy to cut you into that profit savings.
But that's you.
Yeah.
Joshua, that's you.
That's not the real world.
But that is because I am a small fish in a large pond.
Yeah,
if I had the kind of leverage and power that Jeff Bezos had in his field,
they wouldn't allow you to,
I'm
Joshua.
Amazon. Let's just say
Joshua, you would be the next one to come out on some scandal just because, look, man, this man is looking to look bad, bro. We can't have this Joshua dude come in here with all these billions, helping people and actually paying them their worth. We can't have Joshua doing that shit.
But it turns out that I'm actually Jeff Bezos' illegitimate son. My mom was out fucking around. We just found this out. He dies, passed away. He leaves Amazon to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I might have to move differently now because now I'm in a completely different paradigm. And maybe I look at of course, we also have to go back in time and erase my last 40 years of living and make me understand that I'm Jeff Bezos' son. So it's like I stand to inherit billions and billions of dollars. I am superior to everyone else my whole life. That's what I've been raised to believe.
But that's the thing. It's just
I bet you that the way I look at employees is different.
It was like, you
because I
might,
don't have to treat you well. Where are you going to go?
but
Jeff
that's the
Bezos started in
mentality.
his garage
That's the
selling
mentality.
books
Yeah,
Listen to
Jeff
this.
Bezos was selling books. He started off
in
and he
his
started doing it
garage.
online, and then he kept on building, and then he kept on building. At first, he
Yeah, I mean,
actually
that's a nice
managed a
story.
good job. At first, he
That's
managed a good job, and then he
Yes.
probably got around hanging around these other multi-billionaires, which he was never around because he didn't grow
mm-hmm.
up thinking he was better. And then he
Right.
decided, yo, how did you rob people? Oh, well, I started doing this, and he was like, yo, that shit worked.
I mean,
All right, let me try it myself. And then he was just like, his greed led him to that.
Just like
I get the
Bill
rags to riches
Gates.
story. Jeff Bezos started in his garage selling books, and the same thing with
He
Steve
did.
Jobs, the same thing with
But that's the
right. As
thing.
long as
And
we
then they
also
kept on
ignore,
wanting to be hungry and they wanted to keep on making even more money. Jeff Bezos didn't say, I'm going to create Amazon and I'm going to make it big and I'm going to just stop. He was like, I'm going to make this the biggest thing I can possibly make it till I can't stop no more. So he had that
yeah, but
thought process,
like,
and he's just like, I don't care how many corners I cut. I don't care who I got to screw over. I'm going to build my corporation to be the top fucking shipping thing. And that's how he did it. Because he wanted to exploit people, and you
but that's
realize that.
not a real. But that's not a real story.
How is that not a real story? You're not
He
going to
was
tell me you
allowed to
started.
run in the red by the government with tax receipts for 15 fucking years. He was allowed to have investors into his company that allowed
See,
him to run
But that's the thing.
with
Who
negative
else
tagger
invested?
for 15 years.
Okay,
Something
but
that
who
an
else is
investor is
paying
not
for
going
that?
to do for me.
But that's the thing, because they know the leverage and the revenue that you made. Because he made money, he just lost on it because he had to take care of the shipping costs and all these other costs. That's when he started changing it, and he started making it that FedEx did it. Because remember, Amazon used to send everything in their own thing. And then they shit, this is costing us too much. How can I save more money? How can I exploit the system? That's all it is. How can I exploit the system? Well, if I start using this tax loophole, which makes it, oh, this is now considered a business expense, you're going to keep on doing it. And then you're going to keep on doing it. And then you're going to keep on making more money. And then it's, what next can I exploit?
I get all that, but like, let's not pretend that it's not like Jeff Bezos had a Sigma grind set in his garage and was like just hustle culturing his way to Amazon becoming this megalith business. Like, no, he had billions in capex infrastructure spending that was given to him. He had the government allowed to run with negative tax receipts for 15
Why?
years.
Because you know the benefit of doing that. Because then you succumb everybody to ordering online and controlling how
that way
people
he could undercut his competitors and put them all out of business and jack the prices up.
Which is what every corporation does.
And
yes, and that's what they do.
The
they try to undercut
your
everything.
Local hardware store.
And what is that? That is exploiting.
Absolutely.
Exploiting the, and that's what I'm saying. He did that.
Right,
he got to. He started
Walmart
small.
Started in the garage and
he did because that's the honesty of where he started. He started there, but he was looking to exploit people that bought books. He started the same way, but he started in a garage. He was just trying to exploit people that bought books. Oh, you bought a book? You know you ain't got no library in your town. I know I got this hot book come out. I'm going to exploit you because I know you need this and want this, but you can't have it provided. So he exploited. He started the exploitation from the beginning. It just kept on growing and growing. He started in a garage. And he wanted to exploit book owners that read books where most people didn't want to do it. And they kept on moving it up. It was just exploitation at the fullest. These people, all they do is exploit. And as he kept on growing, he kept on finding more ways to exploit people. If I undercut my competitors and nobody buys from them, what do? Now I buy their company and I use their company for production that keeps the same thing. But now I own it and now I can raise the price because I don't have the competitor. It's already shown that he done that. I forget the documentary that shows that, how he would do that, how we would buy out the competitors and undercut them and then pay them off to buy them out so that way he had the infrastructure. He didn't have to build it. He kept it and he just kept on paying the people under Amazon. Exploiting. That's all it is. And then he used tax loopholes to put it down under another name and he just continued the thing.
Same as Starbucks.
It's the same thing. They just kept on exploiting it. It was just like, oh, you build this,
Right. No, I
Josh.
completely understand that. I just wanted to push back on the notion that Tish started into that, like, he's just some plucky little business owner in a garage that Sigma grind set his way to success. That's not what happened.
He was out to exploit. He started in a garage.
That's the story we tell people.
No,
so that
that's how it actually. No, that's how he
and
started.
they become the next Jeff Bezos.
That's how he started. He literally started in the thing. Then he started getting with people, and then the funding started. Once people saw what he was doing and how he can exploit people. Yeah, but he started in a garage. That's what she was saying. That's the truth of it. He started his exploitation out of a garage selling books. And then when people caught on, it was just like, hey, you can start selling other shit. Other people started investing. That's how it happened. But he started exploiting people with books.
Jeff Bezos, but it's important to understand this, that for every one Jeff Bezos, there are approximately 99,999 other people that put their life savings and put their equity positions into starting their own company in their garage, and they got fucking buried by Jeff Bezos and bankrupted.
See, but that's the thing. The difference is when they made those jobs, were they out to actually just have that business, or were they out to exploit people? That's the difference.
This Allurix guy in chat, like, you have to understand, like, you have to. I'm trying to make like a coherent understanding of what he's saying.
Like, which is he started there. He started in a garage.
Unrealistic understanding of how corporations work, dude. Benevolent.
It's not. Nobody's saying that. But then, like,
you're going to buy into this bullshit story that Jeff Bezos started in his garage and just through his
Jeff Bezos
Sigma grind set, he was able to build his company up through his plucky attitude and his can-do attitude.
He was exploiting people through books. He started from the garage selling books. As he continued to sell more books, he started noticing that he can continue to do this with other items. Not only books, but other things that were being sold that can be shipped. And then other people started investing in him. How you said that whole 15 years without that shit was because people invested in him because they saw what that company would become. And he aligned with their exploitation tactics and thought, you know what? I like the way this person exploits people. I'll fund this. Because you don't see multi-billionaires start funding things that don't exploit people, that they can't take advantage of all the money they can make.
But it's important to also understand that the people that made these Faustian deals with Jeff Bezos and invested money into him also had their hands on levers of power in various different government institutions.
But that didn't
help to change regulations to make sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Bezos didn't start like that. Bezos started like every other person you said that started a company, Life Savings or something like that. The only problem was that their model didn't coincide with Jeff Bezos' model. Their model was, I'm going to open up a bookstore for people to come buy books. Jeff Bezos was like, no, I'm going to exploit the shit out of people that buy books, and I'm going to get them to just buy books from me so that they don't have to go to that bookstore, that brick and mortar store. I can deliver that shit to your home. You don't even got to leave your house. They exploited that. So then what happened? Those people that went to the bookstore, what the fuck I got to go to the bookstore for if I could just order this shit and have it delivered to my home? That's a way of exploiting it. So those people lost their business because they thought in a manner that it was just like, oh, I think people are just going to read books and shit and come to my store and read them. You notice how Barnes and Noble stores are limited now. Before they were all over the place. People just don't go to Barnes and Noble anymore. Why? Because they could just order the book from home. And that's what he did. He made that an exploitation. He started getting in with people that did it. He started as shit, but he started cutthroating people once he started it, and he started building that, and other people saw that with a lot of money, and they say, you know what? I'll invest in this because down the road, the model you have and the way you're exploiting people is going to benefit me, so I'm going to help you out. Yep. So he had that thought process. He just started in a shit-ass place. Like you said, probably his life savings to start it, and then he started exploiting people. He took advantage of that, and then he never stopped. Then he just kept on going because that check kept on getting bigger.
I agree. But that isn't a story to me of like something we need to emulate in our society.
Nobody
Something
wants
that we
to
should be, like,
emulate that.
celebrating.
That's one of
that.
the
Nobody's
saying
that.
to emulate that. We're just saying that
Everybody's
that's how
saying
it
not
started.
Yes, they are.
Who's
The
saying
whole
that?
point of the fucking argument is to go to entrepreneurs and say, hey, you're scared to go start your own business? Just remember, Jeff Bezos, he started from nothing
nobody's
in his
saying
little
that.
garage.
Bro, you saying
could
that.
be the next Jeff
Bro,
Bezos. All
you
you gotta
saying
do
that.
is have a Sigma grind set.
Bro,
what
you
these
saying
Sigma
that
grind set
because
people
I
talk
didn't
about
say
all
that
day, man.
and Tisha didn't say that. No, nobody's
I
gonna do
understand
that
that's not
grind.
what you're saying.
The thing is that she wasn't
But don't
saying
say
that.
no
Nobody's
one.
saying that. None of us
The
two are
entire
saying it.
internet is
People
filled
say
with
that.
it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because that's the thing. You keep people stupid enough, they believe it. That goes right back
Yes.
to what I was saying.
But
Education.
that's why it's important to point out Jeff
Yeah,
Bezos
the
did not
thing
become
is
what he became
he
because
became
he
what he became.
Sigma grind setted his way out of a
He
garage.
started in a garage. He was educated. He knew business. He knew how to work and develop stuff. Most people that start a business have no fucking background or knowledge on how to start a business. They just say, hey, I'm gonna start a business with my life savings. I have no fucking idea what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna just work through it. And then they struggle for those first couple of years because they have no idea and they're trying to figure it out. And unless they become profitable, they go bankrupt. This guy had a simple model that he knew people needed because people read. He was a book reader. He liked to read books. Well, I know I like this. Wouldn't it be easy if people just brought my book to me instead of me having to go to them?
Right.
It was just a foundational thing he started, but he learned to use it as an exploitation. Nobody's saying you should be like Jeff Bezos. A lot of people can start from home and then they build from that. But the thing is you need to know what you're doing and you got to do that.
Bezos. That's where we disagree.
That's the problem. People think they're going to be Jeff Bezos, but they don't have no Jeff Bezos connections.
That's the issue.
It's the connections, but at the same time, if you're not educated enough, if you don't go to a school and you don't network at that school where all those other people have fathers and cousins and brothers that work at this corporation that could get you to know somebody that has funding, that's a big difference. That's why people that go to Harvard, a lot of people have connections. Why? Because, I graduated from Harvard and I work at fucking Charles Schwab. I'm the CEO. You need a job? Sure, I got you, Josh. You went to Harvard too. But if you told me, you got a GED, I ain't fucking pushing for you to work for me. That's the difference. Keep people dumb and not educated. It's not that. See, look, he knew what he was doing.
Jeff Bezos wasn't just some
but he knew what he was
I'm gonna start a
doing.
business, and
he started a business out of his garage with the knowledge he had off of Wall Street. He knew how to make money and he knew how to exploit people. Why? Because if you are a financial guy,
narrative, why add?
Because the thing is, it's the truth. He started the business out of his garage. He had knowledge of exploiting people. If you are financial fucking advisor, you know how to exploit people, because the reason is you make and take their money and use it to benefit and make yourself money. Same thing he did with the investment at Amazon.
It wasn't, I was just some dude who went and started a business in his garage.
Ain't nobody saying that he was some dude. If you know who Jeff Bezos were, see, that's the thing.
And then went and started a business in my garage.
Joshua, you are giving people too much fucking credit than they should fucking receive. You're giving people too much credit than what they receive. Because if you want to be like Jeff Bezos, that would mean you know what Jeff Bezos was, what he did, and how he got there. If you don't know that, you ain't gonna be anything like Jeff Bezos if you don't know where he originated from or where he worked. Because the thing is that if you think he started out in a garage, you just think he started in a garage. But us knowing that he started he started working somewhere, he was working somewhere else, used the money he was getting to then start a business out of his garage, you understand the difference from that. If you just tell people, he started it from his garage and you don't know any of the background, you're going to be a fucking idiot to believe that.
Right.
But if you educate yourself and know, oh, he worked for finance, so he used money, he learned how to exploit it, and then he decided to start a business. He used his knowledge to get to that garage, make something through his garage, and then expand it. That's a whole different thought process. That's you educating yourself to do that. If you say you want to be fucking Bill Gates, but have no idea what Bill Gates studied, no idea where he fucking worked at, you ain't gonna be Bill Gates. That's just being a dumbass from the get. And yes, there is a lot of people that think that way. But for people that are educated, no, we learn where people come from. We learn what they did. We learned through their experience to see how we can better our experience. For most of these people, they just wanted to start a business out the garage without no fucking background. Like I said, never worked in Wall Street, never did any financial thing. Talk about, I'm starting a business. I'm going to open up a restaurant with my life savings.
Granted,
never fucking cooked a day in their life. Never had a fucking chef. Never had fucking thing. And that's a big thing.
Fail in their first year. That's the reason why. Yes. People believe this narrative.
It's not a narrative.
You know, the thing is, a good idea.
It's a difference when you say it as a narrative when you're talking to people that aren't educated, and it's a narrative differently when it's people that are educated. It's two different narratives. Because for me, when I said he started out the garage, I knew what he did before he started in the garage. For other people that don't know, they're just going to take it. Oh, Jeff Bezos just started out the garage.
Well,
no.
I'll let me posit this then. When I consider the factors of how Jeff Bezos became successful, the fact that his business started in his garage is the irrelevant factor. How about that?
To you, that may be. That's fine.
The connections that he had. That's what we should be focused on.
That's fine. But it's still that's what the business started with. He started selling books. Whether it was funding or not, it is. The thing is that most people, that's the thing, because the thing is you disillusion people a lot when you start telling them you need a fucking building to start the business. Because then the main concern is, I got to get this business.
That's fair.
The concern with that is that you have to start to say, hey, this guy started from the garage. That don't mean you got to start from your garage. That means you got to start where you have the capability of starting from. But you need to know what the fuck you doing if you're starting from a garage, a building, a skyscraper, a burnt down building that you're replacing. You need to learn what you're doing before that. I know what Jeff Bezos did. I know what a lot of billionaires did because I studied what they did. So I can see, I know I can't emulate them because I don't have those connections like that. But I know if I take a couple of things, it'll better me off. But I'm not going to go into it blindly saying, oh, I'm going to start helping like what I do with veterans. I kind of started that blindly. But then I started paying attention. It was just like, how are these other companies doing it? Oh, they started here. They started here. I do it here from my home. I don't go and buy an office and rent it out. That's an expense I don't need. I was just like, I could do all this from my home. I could do Zoom for free instead of actually going to a fucking conference and doing like that. When you do all those different things, you see that. But the perspective is that I learned I can do these things from starting from scratch. I still need the crazy funding, which I don't get, even though I think I have a good cause. But, that doesn't make no money.
From scratch either.
Yeah, but
you
books
start
was
with
risky.
Some level of knowledge, some level of specialization, some level of expertise.
But that's what we're saying. You have to know that. But yeah, it is, because he still started that business. He knew how to work a business, how to run a business. But he didn't know how to do that shit with books. He just took books as the thing. He took it, that is starting from scratch, because he started that from scratch. His education and experience led him to be able to start from scratch and develop from there. Because he still started from that position. He didn't just start.
He didn't have the CapEx promise.
Yes.
And he didn't have the connections from those people.
But the narrative doesn't
have government
change.
Regulators and people within the IRS to help him out. If he didn't know those things were guaranteed and insured from the start, he would have never started.
It wasn't guaranteed for him.
It wasn't.
That wasn't guaranteed.
But it was.
No, it wasn't, because he didn't start from. Books. He did not. Amazon did not start in the beginning from all these investors. Amazon started with just Jeff Bezos and books. And then
Right, and
from
it
there
was
he grew.
it was
So
a
it
proof of
wasn't.
concept.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's what it is with a lot of businesses. That's how they get loans. You show their stats, you show the information, you show the budgeting, you show the financial outlook, and that's how people get loans for businesses. He did the
But
same
Jeff
thing, but the thing
Bezos
is
did
he
so
knew
with the understanding of
because he
people with
knew how the
capital,
system worked.
venture capitalist money that he
He
came to
knew
and said,
how
here's
the
my plan.
system
And they said,
worked.
okay, prove it'll work. And if you prove that it works, then that
Yeah,
venture
but
capitalism
that's
will flow in.
but that's the
He
thing.
had that
He
knowledge
knew
going in.
exactly, and you can't fault him for that.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have done
He
it.
had the knowledge, so he used it. But he still started from nothing. He didn't have that business before. He started from that, and then he worked from there. That's all.
I
That's
got
all
a
we're
problem with
saying,
calling that starting from nothing, though.
bro. We all started from nothing.
I'll give you a great example.
Everybody started from nothing. But hey,
I'm
man,
out
I
here in
gotta.
the oil field.
I'm gonna have to cut off.
Right.
I got some things I gotta do. I got some things.
No,
I gotta
go
do.
ahead, man.
But we'll continue this conversation next time. We'll continue this
Yes.
conversation next time. This was a good conversation to have. I really enjoyed this.
Fair enough.
Joshua, as always, I appreciate you. Tish, as always, appreciate you. Gina, everybody that tuned in, I appreciate y'all. This is a good conversation to have because it's actually intelligent people talking and not fucking having dumbasses come in all the fucking time. But as always, be good to one another. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. Love one another. Be marvelous while doing it. I'm just Cruz, signing out. Y'all be good. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Oh shit! I got a couple of errands to run. Later.